Welcome to episode 50 of the Oddcast, our last one for the year. And whilst it has been a really heavy week in the news, we're sitting down today to talk all things the failure of the Australian government, the tightening of gun laws, and of course, the rise of anti-Semitism. So grab your drink, strap in, and get ready for our final episode of the year.
All I want to know, Carly, just tell me this. What did I do wrong in a former life? What did I do wrong?
Please don't break the set.
That leaves me...
You're going to break the set?
What did I do in a former life to deserve this? That's what I want to know. This is outrageous. I can't even breathe the mask.
That's the best I've seen you look.
This is horrible. I'm being waterboarded by my own sweat. The a-holes are literally the only thing letting in air right now. It just comes rushing through the eye-holes. Otherwise, I would be suffocating. I'm drowning in here. Carly. Just put me out of my misery, please.
What did you bring in your sack?
Oh, I have gifts. I think that red is overrated. We need more green in our life. I've been preparing for this moment, Carly. I'll have you know, this is how much I care. I have been preparing this moldy broccoli for weeks. Weeks I've been getting this ready for you. I'm going to drop it on your computer. I genuinely cannot see a thing. All right, now, broccoli, misery loves company. Misery loves company. What could be better than some clove lettuce? Half eaten because I only want you to have half of the joy. I don't want to give you all the joy, only half. And let me tell you something. When you're having a cos lettuce and moldy broccoli salad, the only thing that can top it off is, of course, good old-fashioned Brussels sprouts. Merry Christmas, everybody. Can I take this off now?
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. I quit. It was me the whole time. It was me. It wasn't the real Grinch. It was me.
I can't breathe.
This was the worst. Honestly, is this thing made out of sweat? How am I? This is a wearable swimming pool. It's a personal swimming pool. I am bathing right now. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know it's summer and everything, but my goodness.
Did you, are you committed with the pants and everything?
Hey, it's all there. No half-assing. Unlike can I just draw to everyone's attention a little, hey, other camera, yeah. That little bit of half-assery over there. Some antlers.
I look cute.
And a sweater.
It's my ugly Christmas sweater.
I'm wearing
the Grinch. It's
okay,
the Grinch.
Seriously, you could knit another sweater just out of the stuff.
Oh, yuck.
The fibres that have come off. I see you've changed my background colour. You can't quite see it. Can you see all of that? There are literally. I'm going to be finding these. In my lint filter in my washing machine is going to clog instantly.
Do you have anything under the pants?
I am wearing all of my normal clothes under this outfit.
Maybe you can remove your pants.
Have you got some boom chicka bow wow music teed up for me? I need something to work with. I can't just go in dry, so to speak.
This is not a family-friendly show.
You're going to give me a fighting chance.
Hang on, right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, hang on, the belt. I got to start with the belt.
Hang on.
This belt. So the costume fits me. But get this. I might need the other camera. The smallest loop on the belt was there, but I had to punch a new hole over here. It's like a 4-inch difference. Now, that's because I'm fat, but the rest of the costume fit me. This is what I don't understand. It's like this came from a medium costume, and the rest of the costume was a double XL.
I'm not going to say anything that I probably shouldn't say.
Who knew that when you buy things from Wish, they turn out to be crap quality?
All right.
Newsflash, everybody. I'm peeling tennis balls. I'm making tennis balls out of the jolly...
What are we going to do with it? What do we do now?
I take this off, walk out of the house and leave you with the decontamination problem. That's what we do. Oh, my hair. No, not my hair. No. No, it ruined my hair. Oh, no.
That's...
How will anybody recognise me without my perfect hair?
Oh, well, I was like, is the music playing? And it is, but we don't have our headphones on.
So everyone's been listening to Boom Chicka Bow Wow music.
And
I haven't even been stripping. How rude.
okay.
Ugh.
All right, hang on.
Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for
I'm like a...
I'm going to keep pausing it so we don't get copyright.
When you put a jug of cold milk into a plastic bag and it sits in the car for a half an hour and it just like sweats and it all like that's this. That's nasty.
Do.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid the copyright.
The
Ooh,
Boom Chicka Bow Wow combined with
with
me saying that's nasty.
Do.
That's gonna have to go viral, surely.
I can't.
We've got our first viral video now. All right, pants time.
Oh, that's too much. This is graphic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get that butt wiggle. Oh.
Can we do something with the moldy broccoli? Can we?
Yeah, you can eat it.
I don't.
I worked hard for that.
It's not
How's that?
moldy.
How's that for gratitude, everybody? I come bearing gifts.
That's
She
just
treats
tasteful.
me like I'm a pariah.
Don't throw out the Brussels sprout. So I quite like a sprout.
You don't mind a Brussels sprout? Well, there's a cos lettuce leaf for you.
I'll just put those in. I'll just take that sack.
Well, it's a good thing the set's at your place, not mine. This is not my problem to clean up. We've got cauliflower seeds all over the table.
Cauliflower.
We've got Grinch hair all over everything.
It's all a bit much.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Do you see what I did to the set?
It's really cool, isn't it? And look, the light change is a nice touch. I didn't see that when I first walked in. It's a nice touch.
See? Now you've ruined.
It's almost like you care.
It's I know.
Almost.
Weird.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
No. Don't get too excited.
no.
Look what you've done to my makeup. My makeup's running. Oh God, how embarrassing. Okay, right. Well.
But honestly,
hang on.
what did I do in a
You
formal
completely
life?
derailed. What's this shit? I'm wearing the Christmas sweater still.
I'm wearing brand.
Hang on.
I'm on brand.
You can wear those. Or actually put the Santa hat on. No.
Yeah, Santa hat. I'll do the Santa hat.
I'll wear the antlers. That's my thing. Go away. You can't wear both headphones or antlers. It's very uncomfortable, but that's fine. The things we do for this podcast.
These are the sacrifices we make.
Your fiberglass outfit is actually making my eyes itchy.
Yeah, it is horrific. I'm not joking. That is an awful outfit to wear.
Lucky I brought good snacks.
Hey, I brought green snacks.
This is my new. Do you ever have just like fixations? Maybe I'm just like ADHD, but I go through moments, and at the moment I'm in a honeycomb phase.
I don't understand honeycomb. I don't understand.
That's a great answer because this is just for me then.
Yeah, I have it from time to time. My wife loves it. I don't understand. No. This is the sensory experience, everybody. Where you get to feel the itchiness of the costume, the stickiness of the sweat, and the crunch of the honeycomb, all in one episode.
I'm sorry, Jay's going to be so mad at me.
Who knew that headphones don't work very well over the top of
Santa hats.
Santa hats? Yeah, yeah.
You didn't even hear the music I played.
No, I heard nothing.
You have no idea what I did. So
Yeah, no, I'm going to actually have to watch the episode tonight for a change. That'll be weird.
I'm hoping that they don't ping us for copyright, but whatever, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think we all needed a laugh.
We needed a laugh because it's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
So I think it was Charlie Pickering. I think I'm giving the right person credit. He was the host of a show of some sort. I think it was him. Might have been before
He was
his
the
time.
original on the project, wasn't he? Charlie Pickering. All I remember is his joke about for beluga. He used to make jokes about.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Moving on. Kylie trying to be funny. Let's just move on as quickly as possible. It was the week of 9/11. And it was a comedy show. It was Mock the Week, or it was one of these kind of ones where they take the news of the week. And he came on at the open of the show. And of course, what do you do? What do you do when you're doing like a live to air or a same day pre-recorded show that's making fun of the news, and the only thing in the news is the 9/11 terror attacks in New York City in 2001. And he got up, and a massive respect for this moment. He said, doing what I do, we have our good times and we have times like this.
Yeah.
But the truth is, in times like this, we need to laugh more than ever. And there is other news in the world. Other things did happen. So we're going to poke fun at that stuff.
Yeah.
And not talk about the elephant in the room for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of during the Second World War in the White House. I believe it was every Friday night.
Can you like move your microphone but push the arm down? Like, yeah. Because then now I can see you.
You want to see me?
What?
That's a change.
It's weird otherwise.
And they would have it for an hour and a half or 2 hours or something on every Friday night. They'd have a tea party, a bar event. You could not talk about the war. That was it. That was the rule. Okay, you get 2 hours every week, and you don't talk about the war. And Charlie kind of delivered that in a way, in a moment when the world needed it. And that show, whichever show that was, delivered that when the world needed it at that moment in time. And I think, we're not going to do that. We are going to be talking about the elephant in the room. But at the same time, I think we're allowed to have a laugh, and I think we're allowed to still enjoy the things in life and in the world that are enjoyable, that are there to be enjoyed.
Yeah, I think so too. And, I had someone say to me on my Instagram the other day, oh, that's in poor taste, because I put up a funny in between something. And I'm like, actually, I think that's so important. Yeah. It's so important. And when people start to tap out and go, I'm just going to focus on, that's so important for your mental health.
Like, there's bad things in the world, so I'm only going to focus on the bad things in the world.
There's only so much we can see and handle at any given time. And the problem is too, the more you fixate on this stuff, you're not getting any more information. You're just hearing speculation. You're hearing opinion. Yeah. And I went live on my Instagram yesterday, and at the end of it, people were like, what do we do? What do we do? And I kind of got really mad. I don't lose my temper often, but I've lost my temper too many times this week. So much so that, after Monday night's episode, I made myself sick. As in, like, my body was sick.
Wow. Okay.
And, like, without being oversharing, like, it was like my body was just like, this is too much stress, and it had to expel it out of me.
Yeah, wow.
And I was, I was crying because I was, like, in pain because my body's like, whatever this is, we're getting it out right now. And she's like, dude, put your phone down. Like, that's not normal. Your body shouldn't be reacting like that. And he's right.
Yeah.
But I think that's all of us right now. It's too much. And before their bodies were cold, people were immediately politicizing it. And it's like...
This was the thing of the very first video that I put up, and I hesitated even to put up a video because you're just going to be a part of the noise. But at the same time, the noise is going to happen. And so... what do you do? And so my first video was, hey guys, we need to focus on the victims. Yeah. But was also calling out the fact that every single side of every single issue is going to jump on this and trying to leverage it and use it for their purposes. Yes. And I'm going to be one of those people. I said that in that video. I said, listen, I'm going to be part of that noise. Yeah. But before I jump in, I wanted to make this video about, hey guys, let's stop for a second and make sure that even in all of the noise, we never lose sight of the fact there's a bunch of people who have lost their lives, their futures, their hopes, their dreams, everything that they could have been and become and done. And a bunch of families are grieving an empty table, at Hanukkah and obviously going into Christmas and New Year's. And for the rest of their lives, there's an empty table that, they've lost whatever future years there would have been. Obviously, in the case of the 10-year-old girl, it's an entire lifetime. In the case of others, it's less, but it's no less tragic. And so often we can be so quick to try and make this about the politics of it that we lose sight of that. Yeah. I will say on the other side, though, there is nothing that can be done about that. Yeah. If you personally know the victims, and please support their families and support the loved ones that you know. If you don't, donate blood, do all those things. But at that point, there's really nothing more that we can do for those people. Yeah. And so it is necessary to have the conversation about what do we do about this? How do we make sense of the world, of this new Australia that many of us have been predicting for some time, but is now undeniably here, where terror attacks on Australian soil are a real and realistic possibility, and they can be effective. This is the thing. We've had them before, but they haven't been particularly effective. Yeah. And I don't say that to minimise those who
I'd say they haven't been that brazen. Is that the right word? Because rocking up to a crowded park and pulling out rifles from your car. Yeah. I mean, we saw what happened to people tried to stop him and they were murdered. A couple, we said we weren't diving into this straight away. I hadn't done good news. But I can't imagine walking past that. And there was a car that caught this on the dash cam. Yeah, I saw Seeing someone pull out rifles from their car. Everyone that would have seen that would have been like, this is not good, this is not good.
Having draped an ISIS flag over the front windscreen of his car. Yeah. I think I see where this is going. And massive respect to that couple. And I don't know their names. I would say their names if I knew.
I'll pull it up in a sec.
Yeah, because they deserve to be remembered. We need more people like that. But what a tragic situation. We're going to talk about this from every angle going forward, so let's maybe not. right now. Let's jump into things like word of the day.
Yeah. Well, do you have
news.
good news?
I do have good news.
Okay.
And like I said, this is not to be disrespectful of what else has happened, but there is other things happening in the world. I've been a bundle of nerves because last year when I released my second book, Good Christians Break Bad Laws, I released it and I had it to the Amazon for printing well before their deadline to have it delivered before Christmas so that I could have it in everyone's hands. And then Amazon adjusted their delivery deadline into January, and ultimately it was February before I actually got the books and shipped them out. And I hate that feeling of having let people down. It's one of my ultimate hates. And I was stuck. It was not fun last year. Was that last year? Was that the year before? Gosh. No, it was last year. It was. Goodness, time gets weird. So I've been really stressing about this delivery from China. Your designs are amazing. You were on top of it. You ordered it on time. The delivery estimates were good.
I keep looking at my phone.
It landed in Australia, reached Australian customs, and then radio silence.
Yeah.
We heard nothing for the better part of a week now. We've heard nothing.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is the Australia Post deadline for postage.
Which means I'm not sleeping tonight.
And finally, yesterday at like 11 at night or something, you got an email
Clearance,
So it's due to arrive at our studio today.
Yeah.
So I've changed my plans. My sister has come down with me, and you and me and my sister and G, whether he likes it or not, he's not just good for stretching sourdough.
Yeah.
This is a man of many talents. We are going to be stuffing satchels until all hours of the night so that everyone gets their order by Christmas.
Yeah. It will be done. And it's so weird because obviously this is what I used to do like for 10 years.
Blast from the past.
It's like muscle memory. All of a sudden I'm doing things without even thinking. I'm like, yep, I got to do this. And I actually really love this. I love making something and then packing it and giving people a unboxing experience or just, I really enjoy that. So,
this is something that you're bringing that I haven't done previously. Previously when people have ordered, they've got the product and that's what they've gotten. Whereas now it's all beautiful. There's tissue paper and there's stickers. Oh, and there's free books. You'll get one of these for free, the first 1,000 orders of which, so there's still plenty of those left. But it's so much more of just an experience to actually even just receive it. So, and the thank you cards that you designed that I hand signed. Oh my goodness, still recovering.
Did you bring the other 1,000?
I didn't actually. I forgot them. In amongst everything. I did bring a bunch of other things that we have now completely clogged your lounge room.
My house is now the Tofa-filled friggin' warehouse.
It's a warehouse. It's a shrine.
A shrine.
It is a shrine. Everywhere you look, there are homages to Topher Field, whether it's stickers, caps, boxes with stickers on them, shirts, hoodies, and we haven't even received the China shipment yet. Once that China shipment comes in, your house is literally, it's going to be like going into a temple in Bali, and just everywhere you look is just acknowledgement of the deity that they worship. And so I felt really welcomed when I walked into your house today. So that's
what?
That's my ultimate good news. Is someone has finally built a shrine to me. It's finally happened.
Okay. I'm happy for you.
What's your good news?
My good news. I do have good news. And I'm trying not to be a brat. But this is my good news. Hang on. I've got to...
Trying not to be a brat for the first time for everything.
Oh, shit.
Don't hypnotise people and then say that.
Oh, shit.
It gets very messy.
It took a minute for me to get that. I came fourth overall in the advertising and fashion category for my submission.
You did a Lazarus.
Coming fourth?
Yeah, Jesus said come forth. Oh. Yeah, but he tripped over and came fifth.
Is that
Never
a
mind.
Christian joke?
That's a Christian joke, yeah. Yeah, there is at least one person laughing their head off right
niche
now.
Comedy.
Hey, I tell my jokes very, very specialised for one person at a time. The problem is usually that person's not listening. That's the problem. It's not that my jokes aren't funny. It's just the person wasn't there.
The audience doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So this is one of my photos from my master's drink, and it's also the magician card in the tarot cards, and so that came fourth. And
That's
then
amazing.
So that's a photo.
Yeah.
And then I came 11th.
Okay.
For this photo.
Right.
And you know what? I submitted that as like an off chance. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I placed in the top 20 for this one.
Wow. Yeah.
And then top 20 for this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
really, really cool.
So
Well
fourth
done.
overall. I mean, no close but no cigar.
Still, I mean, isn't this the first time you've entered these awards?
No, I enter this
Okay.
every year. This is the
Okay,
one that
all right, so this is a regular thing. Okay.
I do every year.
Well, then,
so-
I mean, that sucks. You should have won by now.
Well, maybe I'm just not good enough.
No, seriously, well done. I know people that are photographers and aspiring photographers, and they run around calling themselves photographers, and they never win a damn thing. This is a fourth place, yes, but it goes into an array of awards that you've won, including one for a photograph of me, by the way.
I did.
But you've won a bunch of awards, and yeah, I think this is well deserved. It just goes into the collection.
I was dirty, to be fair. I was dirty that I came fourth because it's like fourth? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so close.
So close.
Yeah.
But I think, if anything, that's the universe going, yeah, that pissed you off, didn't it? Work harder.
That's the thing. When you're a competitive person, that becomes the drive.
Oh, I am, like, I'm not competitive with other people, but with myself,
Yeah.
I am fierce. And I'm just
I'm not competitive with other people. I just want to come first and defeat the others, grind their dreams into the dust.
Yeah,
But I'm not competitive.
like, I would never do anything, like, I wouldn't do, what's her name? Nancy Kerrigan or anything like that.
okay,
I'm not going to
yeah,
sabotage people, but, like, when I come
Baseball
first.
cap to the ankles for those that don't know. US figure skating, yes.
But when I come first, I'm like, anyway.
Was it Kerrigan?
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan.
Because my head
And Tonya Harding.
Tonya Harding, because my head just goes to the castle. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
One of the Kerrigan girls
Yeah.
did that? Like, that's...
Tell them they're dreaming.
I wouldn't have thought they'd have it in them. But anyway.
I actually want to watch that over Christmas.
Yeah.
I feel like we need some good old Aussie humour. So we're going to get out the castle.
What would you rate alongside it? Because everyone else says it's the best Australian film since The Castle, and most of them aren't, right? Most of them are
Since
just
the
rubbish.
castle.
No, as in,
Oh,
as
The
in they
Castle.
talk about other films.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, it's the best Australian film since The Castle. What would you put alongside The Castle?
I feel like you have to say Dundee. Although, to be fair, I have not seen that movie in like the last 30 years.
It's not great.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I know I've seen it like as a kid.
Yeah. It was a product of its time. I feel like The Castle's a little bit more timeless.
The thing about the castle, like, even though it was like meant to be a comedy, we all kind of are those people or know those people. It was very
There's
intimate.
two things Dad loves.
Yeah.
Tranquility and the scream of a two-stroke engine going flat out.
Smell that? Two-stroke. Jousting
So-
sticks? What do you want with jousting sticks? I don't know, Dal, but I don't reckon they come up too often.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with the property. Nothing wrong with the land. What do you know about lead?
You're an ideas man, Steve. Tell him, Dale. I don't
such
know.
a-
I can quote the whole movie. Do you want to read it?
Got to
do you
move
want
the
us to read
Tirana
it?
to get to the. Yeah. So here's the thing. There have been some really great Australian movies since. I would say Getting Square with David Wenham is one of the lesser
Don't
known
think I've ever
ones.
seen
Yeah,
that.
it's one of the lesser known ones. I really enjoyed that. I really rated that film. You've got things like the Crackerjack, the Bowls one.
Never seen that.
That was good.
What was that one with
creditable.
Shane Jacobson,
Well, wasn't.
the plumber one, the toilet?
Oh,
dude?
about the toilet one. Yeah. I haven't seen
Kenny.
that. Kenny, I haven't seen that.
Kenny was funny.
Okay.
Um,
The Dish. In terms
Dish
in
was
terms
good.
of capturing the Australian.
The Dish was great.
Right. Then there were others that were close but no cigar. The Road to Nil, which is about a car crash on a particular bend
Yeah.
out in sort of rural.
Wolf
rural
Creek was
Victoria.
good, like
Yeah.
horror movie,
Yeah.
but like John, what's his name, was great in that.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen that one.
Everyone in the comments is screaming.
Yeah, it's going to be screaming other films. People are going to talk about things like
Man from Snowy River TV show was brilliant.
what was the one about getting Christopher Skase? Get Skase?
I don't know.
There was one about that, which I enjoyed, but was it's a relatively okay, throw away, have a laugh. Anyway, yeah, we should do Australian movie marathons this Christmas and New Year's.
Just on that, I'm going to say the thing and not sound like a brat, but I'm going to sound like an entitled brat.
I can feel the brattiness already.
Yeah. There is so much untapped talent in Australia. And I've said this before, and I'm not saying this like, boo-hoo, poor me. The issue is so few of them are able to actually have their voice because there is this performative, I'm going to say wokeness around it to even get in the door.
Yeah.
And so it actually, like I had so many videos I wanted to do on this, but I keep getting distracted and other things take me away. But wokeness has actually stifled the creativity.
Yeah.
You know, like the expectation that you'll acknowledge country and denounce your whiteness and, there's got to be the token black people in there and you've got to do something about Indigenous. Like, I'm not saying none of those issues are important.
Yeah.
But when they become the predominant factor that determine whether or not you get attention in the Australian industry, you're locking so many people out. Like, I mean, Triple J is a joke. The Arias are a joke. I don't even know what the Australian Film Awards are. Do we have such a thing?
But this is a cultural thing within the arts industry where it's a closed club if you don't fit in. And I saw that very, very clearly when I was studying to be an actor. And I'm not claiming I would have had a wonderful career if I just had the right politics. No, but I would have been a creditable journeyman actor. I would have had supporting roles in a bunch of random
Could have done some Neighbours
things.
appearances.
All that stuff. Procedural dramas, been in the mix in there. If it weren't for the fact that, so my mentor, my agent had already kind of tried to say it, and obviously had a chat with my mentor because they were working together to say, listen, we got to get through to this guy. My mentor sat me down and said, Topher, if you want to make it in this industry, I really want to see you just run with the pack for a while. And that was her coded way of saying, stop standing out, stop being different, just fit in, to stop saying the things that you're not supposed to say. And all my auditions dried up. Everything just, the phone stopped ringing.
It's happened to me this week. You know how I said I was going to be on that podcast? I have this feeling that I might get pulled from it because I have espoused unpopular opinions regarding what's happened with Bondi. They haven't said anything, but knowing that it's not going to be well received for the general audience, they might go, ooh, she might be a bit too risky.
Too spicy.
They haven't said anything, to be fair, and maybe I'm just reading into that. But
I mean, you might be. That's entirely possible.
We'll see. Yeah. But I have noticed this week, I've said this before, I'm going to say it one more time. So many people who have much larger audiences than me, who have genuine careers in my industry, will message me in my DMs saying, I agree with you, you're brilliant, keep going, I love it. And then I look at their pages and they do nothing.
Yeah, the same.
And
nothing.
I'm actually kind of done holding my tongue now. I'm actually kind of done. And I'm not an asshole in the sense that I'll just name and shame or whatever, but I have no respect for you. And I said this on my live yesterday. I'm like, why are you wanting to stand behind someone?
Yeah.
Why can't you lead?
Yeah.
Right? We don't need more sheep in this country. We need more leaders. We need more people who reclaim their agency.
Yeah.
And I did this live, and I was speaking live on my Instagram for about 30 minutes. And at the end I said, people were saying to me, what do we do? What do we do? And I said, stop asking me, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? Use your brain. Why are you waiting for me to tell you what to do? Why are you looking to influencers or public figures or political commentators? That's how we get into this mess, because you're waiting for someone to tell you what to do. And I get it. Oh, I don't know what to do. We'll start figuring it out.
I'll tell you who knows what to do.
Who?
Albo.
Oh,
he's all over it.
Can we not raise my blood pressure in the first hour?
I mean, listen. The bodies weren't even cold, and he'd already figured out what he was going to do.
I'm going to comfort eat.
He was we're calling that national cabinet. You know, that thing that was invented by ScoMo during COVID, and the Labor Party condemned, and lots of people said was, obviously it's not in the Constitution, but it operates in secrecy. It's not subject to FOI requests the way that other actions of government are. So it's kind of like this secret cabal that runs the country. No biggie. I'm going to gather the secret cabal that runs the country. We're going to have a behind closed doors meeting, and at the end of it, they're all going to come out and agree with the predetermined outcomes that I had when I went into that meeting. And surprise, surprise, when they came out of the meeting, they all agreed with the predetermined outcomes that the Prime Minister had when he went into the meeting. It's amazing.
Weird.
Yeah, weird, right?
It's so weird how that happens.
That must be because he knows what he's doing and his ideas are perfect.
Have you seen the video of Albo reading word for word verbatim a Michael Douglas script? Have you seen this video?
No, I haven't. Michael Douglas being Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, okay.
No, hang on.
Who was
to pull this up.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Albanese.
It was Douglas. It wasn't Michael. It was
Michael.
That's going to bother me.
This is so bad. I can't believe how few people notice this.
Sorry, Googling random facts so I can put it out of my brain.
So making news this morning.
So this is from 13 years ago, but it's worth bringing up again. So I don't think we'll get copyrighted for this. Let's have a look.
Federal Minister Anthony Albanese. Now, during an attack on Tony Abbott, he's been caught out plagiarising lines straight from the Michael Douglas movie, The American President.
In Australia, we have serious challenges to solve, and we need serious people to solve them. Unfortunately, Tony Abbott is not the least bit interested in fixing anything.
We have serious problems to solve, and we need serious people to solve them. And whatever your particular problem is, I promise you, Bob Rumson is not the least bit interested in solving it.
He's only interested in two things: making Australians afraid of it and telling them who's to blame for it.
He is interested in two things, and two things only: making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it.
Oh, Anthony Albanese there, and Michael Douglas. As you.
To be fair, it would be a scriptwriter, not him.
Yeah.
He doesn't write his own scripts. There is a scriptwriter and there is a committee, and it all gets lawyered and it all gets checked by communications and messaging people. So yeah, the scriptwriter was either just quitting his job in spectacular fashion, or honestly just thought he was going to get away with it.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I'm not going to say anything nice about our Prime Minister. Am I going to end up in jail? Is this where E. Karen comes around and goes...
You'll be in good company.
Yeah. Half the country.
Genuinely, that's where we came to during the lockdown protests.
Yeah.
It's like, they are looking at rounding people up.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're going to have a great time in there.
Yeah. I've never been arrested. I've never been in trouble with the law, but maybe this will be the moment.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
I know. For someone who gets accused of really horrible things, my record is like too squeaky clean.
Too squeaky clean. You need to get some like face tattoos or something.
I haven't even had a speeding fine in the last 10 years.
Just like rough it up a little, you know?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a good girl.
You're an embarrassment.
I know. I just got a potty mouth and I'm a Jezebel.
And the sagacious gap is
the sagacious gap. That's brilliant.
That's
brilliant from our audience. Word. Let's God.
Right.
Completely lost.
Yes,
the plot.
we've. Gosh. But when are we not? When is the plot not lost?
To be fair, we're 30 minutes in. You've worn your Grinch costume. I've eaten 2 bits of
We've had a good
honeycomb,
laugh.
And
it's the last episode for the year.
Yeah. Might be the longest one because it's just so dishevelled. All right. Word first. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Left or right?
Right. Top.
Oh. Okay.
That's a good sign.
Horripilate.
Either your pronunciation is terrible or I've never heard of this word. Horripilate. Horripilate. Horripilate.
Hang on.
Horripilate.
Horripilate.
It came into the English language through 19th century Gothic novels. Horripilate. We were all wrong.
Horripilate.
Undergo horripilation, in which the hairs stand erect from the body due to cold, fear, or excitement.
Yeah, okay.
I was horripilated.
To horripilate is to have goosebumps or to undergo the sensation of hairs standing up on the back of one's neck. Gothic writers used the word descriptively to build tension and excitement. So did Mills and Boon, by the way. Don't ask me how I know. Although in medical terms, the word relates more to the feeling of shivering through illness or fever. Right. To horripilate.
So do you use it like she is horripilating or I am horripilating?
At the height of his illness, he felt extreme chills, which caused him to horripilate.
Horripilate is past tense or... Yeah.
No,
Horripilate. Sorry.
Horripilate.
Horripilating.
You could be horripilating.
Yeah. Horripilation. See, don't say you guys don't learn things on this podcast.
Yeah, I tell you what an educational podcast we are. We should be government funded.
Yeah.
I tell you what, educational services.
Let's do some history. I'm going to go from the back this time. Ready?
I'm living in history. I'm sick of it. I don't want...
Come on, ready?
Fine. Stop.
No, we did that last week. Hang on. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Stop.
Colonial wards. Here we go.
Are we going to talk about oppression?
Maybe. Let's have a look. European empires were busy acquiring the denominations piecemeal, and the century progressed. Imperial nations were engaged in almost constant overseas conflict as each empire struggled to expand and retain its territories in the face of either foreign aggression or internal mutiny. Here are some of the key conflicts that shaped political boundaries of the globe and would have far-reaching consequences to the great conflicts of the next century. Why does this feel like a premonition? Why do I feel like I'm reading today's news? The Opium Wars of 1839 to 42 and 1856 to 60. In the early 19th century, British traders were intent on opening up trade in China to foreigners and were illegally exporting opium from India to China to exchange for the latter's teas and silks. To prevent this and protect their opium trade, the Chinese seized and destroyed over 20,000 chests of opium from British warehouses, whereupon the British sent a force of 16 British warships, which besieged Canton, now known as Guangzhou, advanced to Tianjin, threatening the capital Peking which is now Beijing, and capturing Shanghai in 1842. The war ended with the Treaty of Nanjing, in which Hong Kong was ceded to the British, and treaty ports set up in China that would be open to British trade. The Second Opium War broke out when the Jing authorities refused demands to renegotiate with more favourable terms to the Nanjing Treaty, and the French joined the British in launching a military attack on the Chinese. Beijing was overthrown, and the Chinese finally agreed to the Treaty of Xinjiang in 1860, which provided freedom of travel to the European, American, and Russian merchants and missionaries, and opened 10 further ports to Western trade.
Trade wars, tale as old as time. Literal wars in this case.
You know, the more I read about history, the more I realise, like, we're so freaking predictable. It's actually really annoying.
Human nature has not changed that much.
Nope.
Let's be honest. It has not changed that much.
Wait.
What are we doing? Is it? Oh, it is too. It's episode 50.
I know. That's a good one to end on, isn't it?
Well, it's a good number. It's a good number. If we just do 50 episodes a year, then we'll be able to keep track of how many years we've been going. You know, we're up to episode 1062. What does that mean?
Well, we got to episode 25 of the live show and 50 of the podcast.
It's true.
Nice round numbers.
Nice round numbers. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Guys,
nice round numbers from a nice round host.
Before we get into it, can I just remind you guys, please sign up as an OG Oddie, support the show. I am becoming unemployable. The more my opinions come out the more my...
No. You are slowly realising that you've been unemployable for a very long time.
I've been
For
unemployable for
a
almost
host of
20
reasons.
years.
a 3-hour podcast is not long enough to go through the list.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yes, if you sign up to Ko-fi, you can join in on the Discord where everyone chats, and it's actually a really beautiful community in there. They're always chatting, they're always talking.
Yeah.
You can access the Discord without being a paid member, but you only get access to one of the channels. That is something that we offer for you guys who are looking for community and connection and like-minded people. So if you haven't, and also please subscribe. So since it took us so long to get to 4,000 subscribers, now we're at 4,100.
Yeah.
It's weird how it goes. Whoop,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So please,
right.
if you are
Fits
listening
and
to this,
starts.
subscribe. I always wait until the end to say this, so I've got to say it at the beginning.
Another thing we need to say is this is going to air on the 17th. So we're recording it early on the 17th. It's going to go to air tonight, late on the 17th. Tomorrow is the last mail day if you want things to arrive in time for Christmas. But we can't have you order at the end of tomorrow. We need you to order now.
Tonight. Now.
We need you
Right
to
this minute.
open another browser tab and go to tofafield.com, where you will find all of the stuff that's available right now. And yes, we are going to be re-releasing things like this. They're not gone forever. All right. This was just a short-term temporary victim of all the restructuring and rebranding. It will come back. But right now, what we've got available is at tofafield.com. We have stickers.
We do have stickers.
We have caps, we have T-shirts, we have hoodies. The new hoodie with the history leaf, the page turning thing, amazing.
The design he fought me on, which everyone's like, that is sick.
Yeah, correct. But to give me some credit, I told you in advance that the stuff that I didn't like to start with would be exactly the stuff that we needed to move towards.
Do you know which one has actually been the best seller of the new merch? It's the one he was like, let's not do that one.
Did you have to tell everybody?
Yes. Oh. It's like, I'm always right.
And why isn't the thingy doing the thingy thing? Yeah, it's
because we would.
Oh, because you changed it to the thingy. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
There.
Yes, you are. Do you want to bring it up on your computer and show everybody?
Okay.
Let's. If we're gonna grift, like, let's do it properly. Put it on the screen. What is our bestseller, Carly? What's been our bestseller to this point in time? Please tell me.
Well, if we go to this beautiful website, which was built for this...
What a fantastic nose on that guy.
This website built by a very talented individual.
That is a regal double bump
Look at the way
nose.
this just rolls and looks absolutely spectacular.
Yeah,
Only a true master could do this.
It's just a cheap template. You're just throwing some graphics in.
Only a brilliant graphic designer who has impeccable taste could do such an amazing thing.
Tell you what, that bloke, wish I was him.
The photography is exceptional, isn't it? I mean, you can just see that whoever was...
All right, everyone's bored. Show us the stuff.
Do you reckon people just get frustrated when we just rip on each other?
I probably, but also that's the whole reason why they're here.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm never going to be nice to you. If you're expecting me to be nice to you, that's weird.
This is basically a brother-sister podcast where we rag on each other the whole time and occasionally say something useful by accident.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so here we go. Merch.
All right. It's the beginning of a new era.
So,
all right.
these are what are available. This is the history one that Topher was
So
like.
open up the hoodie of the history one, just underneath. There we go. Open that up. Because that
Oh, hang on, if I do.
is
And then.
a abso-freaking-lutely sensational hoodie. The entire interior of the hood is fully lined. It's double-sided. It's been sewn in both directions. It is genuinely the softest, most comfortable hoodie you will ever own.
I know this because I currently wear it.
Yes, you stole the sample. It was so good that Carly would not let me take the sample.
I put it
I
on
paid for the sample.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I
couldn't take
commandeered
it
it.
home because Carly was like, that's nice. Yoink.
One day I was cold and I was like, oh, this is here. I'll chuck this on. And then from ever then, I was
And
like,
I have lost it forever.
Yeah.
And as soon as the doorbell rings and it all shows up at the door, which I do hope happens during the podcast because that is
I'm
just be
pretty
fun.
sure it will.
Then I will be getting one for me and one for my wife.
Yes.
Because they are just the most comfortable hoodies I've
are.
literally genuinely ever come across. So anyway, which is the most popular design, Carly?
The one that you fought me on,
Yes,
which
which
is
was all of them at one time or another. I have fought you on every single one.
this one.
No one's ever going to want that, Carly. Gosh,
He's
what
like,
are you
oh
thinking?
no, I don't know about that one. I'm not
It's-
convinced with that
it's
one.
Too monochrome, too street
Literally
style.
the
No
bestseller.
one's.
Literally the best seller. It's like I know.
Yeah, but you know what I know is that I don't know, which is why I got you involved. So
Yeah.
give me a little bit of credit. I knew that I wasn't the right person to make those decisions, and ta-da!
I have
You are.
more ideas just rolling around in my brain, but can't make them until people buy stuff so I can get you to spend more money.
Yeah, need to clear a bit of the existing stock, Carly. I will tell you, it's a little bit scary when you're dropping literally tens of thousands of dollars on stock
Yeah.
because if you buy small quantities, the cost per unit is just too high.
Too high.
So you have to buy big quantities, and that's really scary. But here we are.
I registered a new company last week.
You what, mate? You're turning into like not James Bond, not Stuart Bond. Who was the Bond guy who went broke, like the pyramid scheme?
Alan Bond.
Alan Bond. You're turning into Alan Bond. You're like setting up shell companies and like
I would love
siphoning
to.
off money.
Can
and
I just
tax
say-
evasion schemes?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
The person with the squeakiest, cleanest
Cleanest.
record has been accused of the worst things. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's, why am I allowed to have a new company if
Okay.
I'm such a bad person?
But this is really interesting to me. You mentioned the issue of being accused of all these things. Psychologically, it's been shown in studies that someone who swears a little bit is trusted more by others
Yes.
than someone who never swears.
So someone who's a prolific swearer.
Someone who swears
must
all
be
the time.
totally true.
Well, there is a balancing act on that, but it's interesting because
Jezebel.
there comes to be this assumption that if I can't see any flaws with you, they're obviously still there. You're a human being, but you're hiding them all, which means they could be terrible. But if you let me see some of your flaws, then I go, oh, that's the flaws. Oh, okay, that's not so bad. And I trust you more now. It's this really weird psychological thing. So maybe they looked at your record and went, oh, yeah, like grifting and ripping off fundraisers and I don't know, what's the other stuff? There's a whole bunch of things.
I think that's the thing. Oh,
Yeah.
it's my favorite part is how much the story changes.
Yeah.
Every time someone brings it up, it's like, and then she flew to China, and then she infiltrated, and then she came back as a Russian
Did you hear
spy,
about
and
when
then
she ripped that child's head off in
and
the
she
middle
ate
of
it.
Burke Street?
I'm like, tell me more. This is a great
This
Netflix
is amazing.
story.
This is great. And so obviously the Australian Securities Investment Commission have gone, yeah, this is the kind of person we want owning companies in Australia. That makes sense. Yeah.
And it's funny. But so I have got one of the best freaking accountants.
Yeah.
Like my accountants are like the dream team, right? And a good accountant goes a long way. And in that accountant firm, they've actually split their businesses up now. Like everyone's still friends, but like the business grew too big, so they've sort of separated it. So you've got the finance division, and then you've got the actual accounting thing. And so these guys are so in tune, so aware, so like in, right?
Yeah.
Know everything, and they were saying like the ATO are ruthless right now. They are basically grinding everyone into the ground.
Yeah.
Because the government's broke. And they were telling me all these different things, and I was asking them, like, what does this mean? Like, you get to a point where there's people who have ATO debts, whatever, and they can't service them. What do they do? And they're like, well, if there's nothing you can do. If the government gets to a point where everyone's broke, what can you do? And that's what they were talking about. And then he was saying, like, economic collapse and what's going to happen. And he was giving me this really
Sounds like a charming accountant.
No,
really
he was
upbeat
breaking
kind
it.
of guy.
He was breaking it down for me, and I was like, this is fascinating. And he said, what we need to be scared about is how much wealth has already left the country.
Yeah.
And he knows because he's setting up these companies.
Yeah, he's helping them.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's actually some of our biggest work at the moment is helping our clients sort of like shield themselves from what's happening.
So there are fundamentally only two inputs in an economy. Everything boils down to two things: energy and organization, right? Now, energy takes many forms. I'm including human work. I'm including labor as energy. Obviously, electricity is energy. Hydrocarbons are energy, etc. But energy, effort, and the organization of that energy. Those are the only two things at work.
Yeah.
And what happens is things like communists, things like the union movement, things like workers, advocates, they focus on the energy side of it. They say, well, we're the ones doing the work. And they completely devalue the organization side of it. They dismiss that. Oh, they're extracting value from workers. No. The workers' energy and input was only valuable because of the way that it was organized. Right? You could spend all your energy building a house and it'd be worth something. I can spend all my energy digging a hole and filling it back in again, and no one's going to pay me for that.
Yeah.
Same energy, right? But it was the organization of the energy that actually made the difference. So when we lose these brains, these people, a lot of people are dismissive.
Yeah.
They say, oh, we don't need them.
We don't need the rich people.
They didn't do a real job. They didn't do any real work anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, but they organize. That's what an entrepreneur is: a business person, an inventor, a technologist, an industrialist, an Elon Musk.
An innovator.
They are the ones who bring the organization. And the ones that get really rich are the ones who see opportunities to organize energy better in a way that is perceived as more valuable by the market. That's why they get filthy rich, is because they actually figured out how we can combine the energy inputs in a way that the market says is worth more, and they get to keep the difference. They get to keep whatever they add in value through the alternative organization of that energy. That's the bit they get to keep. That's why they get so rich. Kicking these people out of our country, yeah, you can have all the workers you want. Russia had no lack of workers. The USSR, I mean, when it was communist, they had no lack of workers. North Korea did not lack workers. They lack the will and the understanding of how to organize those inputs. And as I look at the future of Australia, as I look at what's happening, as we get rid of these people who actually bring the ideas, the innovation, the organization, I mean, it's enough to make me horripilate to think the future.
Damn it, I was ready to go.
I saw you bring up the tab.
Damn it.
I saw you bring up the tab on your computer, and I knew my time was short, and I had to do it now. You gave it away. Am I wrong? Is it on your screen right now?
Yeah, it is.
It is. I saw you. I can't see her
You
screen.
can see my screen there.
No, I cannot see her screen. But I saw, when I started talking, she switched tabs, and I went, I cannot stop. I cannot take a breath. I cannot let you get a word in edgewise. Because
Fine.
you will steal this off me.
I was ready to go. I even rolled up my sleeve because I was going to go, I'm horripilating.
Okay, so I spend a lot of time playing poker.
I gave it away.
You should never try and make money playing poker. You don't have a poker
You
face.
saw me go.
The signs were, you might as well have had it tattooed on your forehead.
God damn it. Oh, well. Well played.
But I do dread to think, if we continue this attitude that we don't need those people, I'm sorry, we are going to find out way too late that we really do.
The problem is we are punishing anyone with initiative and removing all incentives, and that breeds resentment. So people who are strategic and good at innovation, I mean like your top level, they'll go elsewhere because they've got the means. But then you've got your mid-tier, your people who are running your sort of SMEs, right? And small, medium enterprises, for those who don't know what that means. And these are people who, might be turning over a couple of $1 million a year. They're going to be punished. And I mean, I'm already seeing this with G and other people I know, like through all the taxes, like payroll tax and then land tax and all this sort of stuff. It's getting to a point where there is no reason to run this business anymore. There's you would be better going and working for someone else.
Yeah, correct.
Which is why people go into the public sector.
Yeah. Or just go these days, just go and work for NDIS.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And people are going, okay, fine, I'll just give that up. So we're losing.
I literally know people that have done that.
Yeah. We're losing industry because there is no incentive to have a small business anymore. And I think this is all deliberate. And then what happens? You have people who no longer have agency. And I think that's why I got so angry yesterday on my live when people were like, what do we do? I'm like, oh my God. Why? It's like everyone's been lobotomized. And I know I sound like mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm more so just frustrated because people, okay, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to sort of segue, but the biggest comment I have seen come out of Bondi has been, how could this happen? And I just, I want to grab people
if you haven't
and
seen this
shake
coming,
you.
if you haven't seen this coming,
can't
you
help
have been
you.
paying no attention.
I don't know how to, but this is the thing, that they're genuinely looking at us going, how could this happen?
Yeah.
Either you are incredibly naive and sheltered, or honestly, you lack intelligence. Because the writing has been on the wall for a long time.
Yeah.
The writing was there. It was a neon sign friggin' flashing at us during COVID.
Yeah.
And now, everyone's sort of standing around going, oh, shit. Oh, I didn't realise that people marching with the Hamas headbands and ISIS flags could lead to some kind of mass casualty event on Bondi.
Yeah.
How could that have – I could never have seen that.
Yeah. So,
demonising the Jews in this country for 2 years. Oh,
yeah.
And then they get slaughtered. Jeez, wow.
Yeah, who could have seen that coming?
Oh.
Let's clear a few things up for anyone that's confused. The catchphrase, from the river to the sea, is a call for the extermination of the Jews.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People try and dress it up. Oh, no, it's about the politics. It's not about the Jews. It's about the state of Israel. But no. That is a call for the extermination of the Jews. From the river means the Jordan River. The sea is the Mediterranean Sea. That land is the land that Israel occupies right now. And it is a genuine call for genocide. To say globalize the Intifada is the extermination of Jews.
Yeah.
You are literally, and they were chanting these things.
Yes.
When you say globalize the Intifada, you are literally saying kill Jews wherever you find them anywhere in the world, which is literally part of hardline Islamic teaching. So these marches were not innocent. These catchphrases were not innocent. And now it's undeniable. I loved, what was her name, the journalist who really pushed Marine Faruqi, Senator Marine Faruqi.
That was great. Shari Markson, I've got that.
Was it Shari Markson?
Shari,
Okay.
yeah, from Sky.
She pushed her so hard to say, do you regret?
She looked like a little mouse.
She clearly what she'd been told by her media handler was just stick to this. And she just kept on coming back to the same thing, same thing. She was literally just cowering in place. If she was an armadillo, she would have rolled up in a ball, cowering in place. She had no actual reply, no actual response. And I think that's the approach here, is to say, is to be relentless at holding people who have been involved in this rhetoric accountable. Yes, I'm a free speech absolutist, but we can absolutely also notice what people have said and say, hey, this is what you're calling for. Mm-hmm. You're calling for an extermination here. And by the way, once you start making reasonable people feel unsafe, to feel that they have been threatened, you have crossed a line at that point. And, we could argue about the specifics of each individual case, but I think there are people that do have a case to answer for having helped to incite what we saw.
How could this happen? Here's a sitting senator wearing a Hamas headband.
Yeah.
And she's smiling.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I put up in my reel, you guys would have seen it on Monday. This goes unpunished. Abby Chatfield calling for the assassination of Donald Trump goes unpunished.
It's worse than goes unpunished. If you call it out, you're the villain.
Yeah.
Right, you get punished for trying to suggest that there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, I'm going to bring up something because it happened last night. I put up my live, and then and I know she listens to the podcast, so I'm going to do this with as much grace as I can. But I'm really livid by the exchange. So this woman has come to my workshops before. She's bought from me, so I respect her and I really like her as a person. But she's also Muslim.
Yeah.
But she wasn't born Muslim. She converted, I think, for marriage.
Right.
Anyway. I have no idea actually what her nationality is, by the way, apart from Aussie. I don't know what her background is. And it doesn't matter, but she's Muslim. And as soon as I started speaking up about Bondi, she was in my DMs going, you can't blame Muslims for this. And I was being as respectful as I could be until something happened. So she put a comment going, so what's your suggestion? What do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
You're demonizing all Muslims. And I snapped. I did. I got angry. And I was like, not once anywhere have I said it is all Muslims.
Yeah.
That's what you want to pretend I'm saying.
It's the straw man.
What I said and what I explicitly state, and you can go and clip every time I've mentioned this, is the radical, extreme Islamist. That is the term I have used. Extremist, Islamist.
Yeah.
Unless you are one of those, I don't understand why you're upset.
Yeah.
If you are just a Muslim, then why are you worried about me saying radical Islamist?
Yeah.
Unless that's you. Because that's not what I'm calling you. I'm not saying you're an Islamist. I am saying the radicals are bad. Anyway, so the exchange went on. And this is where, dude, my blood was boiling. And obviously people are commenting and stuff. And I try and manage the comments, but then I get told off for censoring so I'm like, I don't want people being mean to each other. But at the same time, I can't delete your comment because then I get in trouble. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So the exchange went on, and then she said, so what's your solution? I said, well, if I were actually in charge and I could do something, this is what I'd do. Every single cleric and imam and Muslim leader who has spread hate, who has called for jihad, who has espoused any of these ideas, immediately deported. If they're Australian citizens, they face harsh sanctions. And if they are explicitly talking about jihad or global intifada, denaturalize and deport.
Yeah.
Right? That would be the first thing. Second, stop all migration from these countries for now. Until we have a system in place where we can closely monitor who we're bringing in. I know you'll get angry with me for that one, but let me finish. Because at the moment, we don't check any of those things. And this is the NIAB approach. We have to stop it right now until we can get a handle on it. The next thing I'll do, anyone that raises the ISIS flag, the Hamas flag, any known terrorist organization, immediately punished. What that punishment looks like, I don't know, but punished to a point where there is serious consequence if you can do it for the swastika.
Correct.
You can do it for the ISIS flag. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm done being polite. Anyway, so I went all that. And then, of course, people are like, what a racist thing to say. I'm like, where did I mention race?
Yeah.
And again, there is a very clear line here between what I actually said and what you want me to have said.
Correct.
So you can react to that.
They can't deal with what you actually said.
Yeah. So, but it got worse. It got worse. And then I made a comment where she was like, oh, like the poor Muslim community, this is looking bad on us. I'm like, yeah. Do you know why it's looking bad on us? On the Muslim community? Because Muslims refuse to condemn the Islamists.
Yeah.
A couple do, to be fair, a couple do.
Yeah.
But globally, the Muslim population must condemn and work with us to eradicate these extremists. I'll keep going because it got worse. And then it kept going. And then I said, stop being the victim. They were my words. I said, stop playing the victim. This is not about you. This is about the ideology and the radicals. And then she wrote, I kid you not, verbatim, and this is where, I lost it. I am the victim. I haven't wait. I am the victim. I haven't been able to leave my house for 2 days because I fear what will happen to me. Dude, if I can't even, I'm trying not to get angry because I don't want to get sweary and angry on the podcast again, but if I could have looked her in the eye, I would have told her to go fuck herself.
Oh, yeah.
How dare you?
That is a huge go fuck yourself moment.
How
100%.
dare you? You're too scared to leave your home because you're Muslim?
Yeah.
Did you get slaughtered?
Yeah.
Did you see your people get slaughtered? Do you have people calling for your extermination? No, sorry, that is an exclusive Islamist thing. We just saw 16 people or 15 people, whatever it is, get slaughtered at Bondi Beach, and you have the audacity. You have the audacity to dare turn yourself into the victim. Yeah. Fuck you. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you need to hear this. How dare you?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and I've seen this and we'll talk about it, maybe it's worth talking about now, the media is so afraid to say the word Islamist. Oh, this is a rise in anti-Semitism. No, it's not. It's a rise
in Islamism.
Of Islamism.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Call it what it is. This was an exclusive attack on the Jewish community by fundamentalist Islams. Stop gaslighting everyone.
Yeah. And there is anti-Semitism coming from other quarters of society, but not of that gas the Jews, globalize the Intifada, kill them all kind of approach.
All the useful idiots in there, yeah.
That is a uniquely extreme Islamist perspective. Now, you mentioned before, some Muslims are calling it out, and that's good, and that is happening, and it's encouraging. Some people are saying, well, you can't expect Muslims to call it out because then they'll be targeted by the Islamists. To which I say a similar thing to what I say when people don't want to speak up about other issues. Oh, but then I might lose my job. I might whatever. Well, then you know your price.
Cry me a river.
You know your price, right?
Yeah.
If you're refusing to speak on something that matters because it could cost you your job, then whatever you get your salary is $1,800 a week, $1,600 a week, whatever it might be. That's your price. You can be bought for that amount of money. Congratulations.
Can I go one further? And again, if this bothers you or if this offends you, it's probably because I'm over target. You are a coward. You are a coward. And I'm going to go there. And I know you shouldn't go there, but I'm going to go there. If you can't speak up now, if you are afraid to speak up now because you're worried that you'll have some kind of retribution from people online or your colleagues might push back, you are no different to the Germans who stood by and watched people get led to slaughter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It is the same thing. If you cannot speak up, if you cannot find your voice after something like that because you fear that you might lose something as novel as some friends, fuck you, you're a coward.
It gets worse. So I had this conversation. I only got halfway through the conversation before they bailed out, and I never got to finish the point. But
Am I being too harsh?
No, silence is consent. This is a legally established principle. If you don't speak, you have consented. This is under Australian law.
Yeah.
Then you get people like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, famously, who did stand And explicitly, he stood as a Christian pastor and he said that we as Christians have an obligation to, his expression was to put a spoke in the wheels of the state, of the organs of state, in order to slow them down and stop them and interfere with their ability to oppress the Jewish people. And he ended up losing his life for his words and for his work. So no, silence I think is no longer an option. But a lot of people say, oh, but I have to look after my family. My highest priority is my family. I have a responsibility to them, blah, blah, blah. That's true. You do, especially if you're a man. If you're a father, you absolutely have a responsibility to your family. That's absolutely true. But here's the thing. You will find another job. Oh, but it won't pay me as much. Okay, so what's the difference going to be? Let's say it's going to be a big difference. It's going to be a $200 a week difference. That means that your silence can be bought for $200 a week.
Yep.
Right? If you face disciplinary action in your job and you lose your job and you have to go and find another one and it involves taking a pay cut, which by the way, it might not. A lot of people actually discover they had more opportunities than they realized. And actually a lot of people, for example, people that left the police or teaching jobs and so forth due to the COVID lockdowns, by no means all, due to the COVID jabs, by no means all, but many of them actually found themselves getting paid more. That's what they discovered. But even if it costs you, that is a menial amount of money. For your tongue to be bought.
Yeah.
Right? What an insult to yourself.
Yeah.
To sit there and go, oh, for $200 a week, you can control what I say.
Yeah. And I'm done playing nice. I really am. And I'm not trying to like offend all our followers and our subscribers and things like this.
You're not trying to. You just do it effortlessly.
No.
It doesn't take trying.
What I'm saying is it's not coming from a place of malice. This is not like I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm like, at this point, if you still, after all of everything that's happened in this country the last 6 years, you still can't do it, I don't have any respect for you. Yeah. I'll always be kind to you and courteous to you, but I don't respect you. I can't.
Yep. And this is the thing that I said during COVID. Ask yourself whether you will be proud of yourself in 10 years.
Yeah.
Will future 10 years' time you be proud of who you are and the choices that you're making today?
And Matt, sorry to cut you off, but this is also the same thing. The amount of people who now regret taking the jab, for example, I wish I didn't do it. Yeah. But you did, and you still haven't learnt your lesson, and you're still not standing up. Sorry, you haven't learnt your lesson.
And people who said, oh, I wish I could say that I stood up. Thank you for doing it. Good on you. I wish I could say that I did. All right. Well, you can't change the past, but you can change the present. What's the thing right now that in 10 years' time or 5 years' time you will be looking at going, oh, I wish I'd been one of those people.
Yeah.
Right. During the occupation of France during the Second World War, during the Vichy regime, when the Germans were in charge, only about 3% of French people actively participated in the resistance. In surveys after the war, between 10 and 30% claimed that they were part of the resistance.
Yeah.
So there's an enormous number of people, 3 to 10 times more people, who wished they could say, I had the courage to do that.
Yeah.
And many of whom were willing to lie and say, oh, yeah, I was right there. Oh, yeah, it was all very secret. No, you wouldn't know my name, but gosh, I was in there, right? There are so many people living their lives now in a way that is going to leave them pretending. It's going to leave them wishing. It's going to leave them wondering what their life could have been if they'd actually had the courage to stand up for what was right. And, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to live my life wondering. And I've made many mistakes in my life. I'm not trying to pretend I've got everything right, but I sure think I got COVID right. Yeah. And I'm hella proud of who I was. And
now when I see people bring up aren't you the chick from COVID? I'm like, you're damn fucking right I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know my name.
Yeah. I'm glad you remember me.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're a con woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'll be whatever. I will be that villain in your life. I don't care anymore. It's redundant. That kind of, oh, you're a racist. Okay. Well, call me what you want.
Call me what you want.
I don't care. I want to show you guys this is like totally different to what we're talking about. But this happened recently and it gets no airtime because it's, everything that's going on. So a wave of Gen Z unrest fells its first European government. So this is Bulgaria. Right. Are you aware of this?
No.
Okay. I'm going to read this to you. Disgruntled Gen Z, this happened literally 5 days ago. Disgruntled Gen Z protesters who have toppled governments and rattled rules across the world this year have claimed their first European victory. Bulgaria's government collapsed Thursday following a wave of youth-driven street protests over entrenched corruption and self-dealing elites widely seen as disconnected from the struggles of ordinary citizens. Does this sound familiar, people?
Pause. I would have thought that Bangladesh, was it Bangladesh that burnt down the Parliament House? Was that Bangladesh? No. Where was that? That was Nepal. It was Nepal. They burnt down the Parliament House. The politicians had to flee.
Yeah.
And that was all due to corruption, etc. And ultimately, the trigger was a banning of social media.
Yes. And it was quickly repealed.
Not European, obviously.
Yeah.
So this article is about the first European victim. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing this up is people are like, oh, protesting doesn't work. Protesting in small numbers, of course, doesn't work. You imagine if collectively everyone went enough and you went to the streets. I'm not talking necessarily physically, but you started really amping up. You reckon we can't take down Albanese? Come on. I'm not inciting, just to be clear. What I'm saying is that pressure, that resounding noise around Albo will make, firstly, his party go, dude, you got to go.
Yeah.
And secondly, if it's loud enough and there's enough people, the Governor General has an obligation to dissolve Parliament.
It has to get pretty extreme to be at that point. Let me pick you up on something, though, because I get emails. Literally every day there will be either a message in my Facebook, Instagram, X, or an email will come through to me with someone with a plan.
Yeah.
And their plan is, if everyone just... And it doesn't matter what comes after that. Because everyone ain't going to just.
No.
Right? What it takes is a catalyst, a flashpoint. The reason why these things happen, I don't know what the cause was there in this European situation, but the trigger in Nepal was the ban on social media.
Yeah.
The trigger in other countries tends to be some sort of a flashpoint event. Someone was a victim of violence from the government or various things, policy changes that outrage people. I remember during COVID, it was the playgrounds. At one point, it was bacon. There was a big outrage over bacon. I can't remember, and the people were putting up the meme of Braveheart. They may take our lives, but they will never take our bacon.
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was about. Anyway, it's tickling in the back of my brain. There needs to be that flashpoint, that catalyst that gets people to go. And at that point, yes, protest serves a purpose, absolutely. I do think there is a balancing act, though, because, for example, we've seen weekly protests from the pro-Palestine mob, and ultimately that's proven to be counterproductive. So I think there are seasons. During lockdowns, for example, when the government said you're not allowed to protest, 100% protest was the right tool, was the right strategy. Approaching the next federal election, I think 100% protests are going to be the right strategy once again, particularly if, as I am increasingly suspecting will happen, if One Nation are having their reform moment, and tragically, the events of the weekend are likely to accelerate their and that's not a price I'd be willing to pay, but it's a price that's been paid.
Yeah.
And if that's the result of it, then that is at least a tiny silver lining off the back of a massive tragedy. But I do think we're going to see One Nation growing, and if that happens, I think protests in the lead up to the election, in solidarity with just getting rid of the uniparty, just saying, hey, enough, guys. Let's get a bunch of Labor voters, disillusioned tradies, disillusioned hard workers, people whose dad voted for the Labor Party and granddad voted for the Labor Party, or they arrived as immigrants and they were told the Labor Party's for you, but they can now see through that. They're never going to vote Liberal. They can't bring themselves to vote Liberal, but they could put One Nation at number one.
Yeah.
Right. And if One Nation can come over the top of the Liberal Party in any given lower house seat, so they pick up the Liberal Party preferences, and they've picked up a bunch of Labor voters in first preference votes, where they might vote One Nation and two for the Labor Party. Right. They can't walk away from the Labor Party, but I'm going to put One Nation first. Yeah. If we can see a movement like that, this entire country could change radically in less than 2 years.
Just so you guys know.
Oh no.
Oh no, my tinsel. I'll get up and fix it in a second.
Not me tinsel.
To be fair, it wasn't sticking up very well, but I'll try again. Oh, wow. It's all right. I'll get up there. I'll fix it. Pauline Hanson's One Nation. It's $60 to join, and that support could do the world. Yeah. They need these numbers. So, I mean, I'm a libertarian, but unfortunately, the libertarians just don't have the foothold. Yeah. One Nation currently does. They have the momentum, and I will be signing up.
I'll still be voting number one for the Libertarian Party, and then probably One Nation at number two. They're probably just going to go right in there at number two, and then after that, hopefully it won't matter. Hopefully it'll stick. In the lower house, it's always tricky because you have to get a majority in the lower house. In the Senate, it's proportional, and you can pick up Senate seats much more easily. But I'm looking at it. So Barnaby Joyce has become the lead Senate candidate for New South Wales, or at least that's what they've announced he's going to be. But I stand by my analysis that I gave earlier before that official announcement was made. They need to make him their lead lower house candidate. They need to run him in New England, where he is massively popular. And I think he will probably still hold his seat, especially if One Nation are looking like forming government. The problem they've got is if this is their reform moment, if this is the moment where all of a sudden they are going to start to be viewed as an alternative party of government, then they need someone who can be credible as the alternative prime minister. One of the problems the One Nation Party has always had throughout its history is getting credible candidates. And that's because they had no realistic chance of winning. And so why would anyone credible throw their lot in with them? They'll run with the Nationals, the Liberals, the Greens, or the Labor Party. They're not going to go with One Nation. And so they don't have a lot. And they've got good people, let me be clear. They've got good people, but they don't have people with depth. They don't, and they don't have enough of them.
Charisma is a big part of it.
Charisma is a big part of it, but they just don't have enough people that understand the game.
Yeah.
Right. When you're campaigning, when you don't have no political background, the political machine behind you is relatively small and inexperienced. All you've ever done is campaign. If you suddenly win your seat, you don't know what to do with it, and the party doesn't have enough staffers and advisors and so forth to actually make these people effective in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So they've got a massive credibility problem in the lower house. Having Barnaby Joyce as the alternative prime minister running in the lower house solves a significant amount of that problem. He's been a deputy prime minister. He was there for years. He's been in parliament for a very long time. Pauline Hanson is their leader in the Senate. Barnaby Joyce is their leader in the lower house and potential alternative prime minister. I think that makes their chances of having a reform moment much higher.
Yeah.
Because right now, I think a lot of people would say, well, I'll vote for them in the Senate, but I'm not going to vote for them in the lower house.
Yeah.
Because who are they in the lower house?
Yeah.
So there's nothing there.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot to go on. Can I finish this article just because I think it's worth talking about? So I think I've talked before about revolution, and I know you dismiss me, but Pluto in Aquarius, last time this happened 250 years ago. You cannot deny there is.
I need another drink if you're going to start talking about star signs.
There is definitely unrest across the globe, and people are rightly pissed off with the elites, pissed off with the politicians, because for too long they've had their snouts in the trough, and they've dismissed people. I mean, even Trump. Like, I'm quite critical of Trump at the moment because what are you doing to people who are being impacted economically right now?
Yeah.
I understand that we need to step up when there's global issues, but it's like the everyday person has been completely forgotten. So I'm just going to read the rest of this article because I think it's worth talking about. So Bulgaria has become the latest flashpoint in a year marked by Gen Z unrest. Youth protests have felled governments in Nepal and Madagascar in recent months. Demonstrations over perceived privileges enjoyed by political elites have sparked mass rallies in Indonesia and the Philippines. In Tanzania, youth-led anti-government protests were met with lethal government force. The resignation of their coalition government announced Thursday comes just weeks before the Balkan country is due to join the euro area, the European Union's currency union. While Bulgaria's government collapse won't stop its planned January 1st switch, it prolongs a political crisis that has triggered 7 parliamentary elections in just 4 years. There is definitely an uprising of people who have just had enough. And I think collectively across the world right now, these people have overplayed their hands, and we're starting to see it. I mean, in Australia, I say this all the time, we're so apathetic. But the spending scandal, right? Like Redbridge have come out. Redbridge is the Labor-aligned pollster. Kosamaris. Yep. And he is actually accurate, which is annoying. But I found this article.
It's annoying when they actually do their job,
I tell you. He is a Labor-leading guy, but he's accurate, right? Yeah. So this has come out by your favourite, The Conversation. Academic rigour and journalistic flair.
Oh, yes.
So Labor maintains...
Journalistic flair me harder, Daddy.
They maintain a dominant lead in the Redbridge poll despite expenses claim.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately the left are ideologically bound and they cannot and will not, even when faced with total object reality of their party failing, cannot abandon the cause.
But they also... What's the alternative? A Susan Lee-led Liberal Party? No. Like I said before they made her leader, that if they make her leader, they are just going deeper into the hole. And guess what's happened since they made her leader? Bada bing, bada boom, I was right.
Yeah. It says here, former Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce joined One Nation, giving One Nation its first seat in the House of Representatives since 1998.
Yeah.
And he's going to run for the Senate, it says here. But yeah, so if we come down here, this is the current poll. So
17%, yeah. Yep.
It's up by 2, and I dare say this is prior to Bondi, by the way.
Yeah, they have polled as high as 18%, but obviously different polls are different. They all use slightly different methodologies. They weight slightly differently. They're all trying to be accurate, but they have different ideas of what that means and how, in terms of how they sort of parse the numbers. But yes, rising, no question. One Nation is rising.
The fact that it's overtaken the Greens, right?
Like,
This is phenomenal. This is what we need to see.
Yep.
We need to see this extremist, woke, progressive crap stamped out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Greens are a cancer in our political, in the political soup that we have. But not to say that there aren't good people in some of these parties, but we've seen what progressive ideology has done to all of these things. And the reason people are like, oh, well, why isn't Albanese condemning Islam? He doesn't want to lose the votes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's that simple.
They've got particularly in Western Sydney, they've got a capture issue there. Now, here's the thing. If he were to actually, there are a lot of Muslims that are sitting there going, similar to what we talked about already, I wish I could speak out, but I'm too afraid, I'm too whatever. This is where you need the tip of the spear. We've talked before, why does everyone want to follow? Well, unfortunately, that's human nature. We need someone who's willing to be the tip of the spear and take the damage. That's the tip of the spear, their job, the leader of any movement, their job's not actually to do the damage. Their job's actually to take the damage.
Yeah.
When a spear hits a target, the tip gets blunted.
Yes.
Right? But it's the heft, it's the people behind it, it's the shaft, it's the weight of the metal and the wood in that spear that causes it to do the damage. The tip is just there to cop the return.
Tip and shaft, it's too much for me, but
I know.
thank you.
But you're welcome. So what's needed right now is for Albo to have the courage. I make myself laugh. For Albo to have the courage to actually turn around and say, hey, Muslim community, we know that the vast overwhelming majority of you completely oppose all of this, but we also know that there are people who call themselves Muslims and operate under a Muslim ideology and, let's be honest, follow the Quran more closely than the non-violent Muslims. That's an uncomfortable truth. You have a better idea of who they are than we do, and we need your help.
Yeah.
We need you to help us to deal with these people. That means having the courage to deport. That means having the courage to actually press charges where it's appropriate, have ASIO do proper investigations, and then act on them, which they didn't do when they investigated the son who was involved in the shooting in Bondi. It requires that level of courage. But what that has the potential to do for him to turn around and say we are acting on this, we're doing something now, would give an enormous proportion of the Muslim population the opportunity to breathe and go, oh, okay, I can speak, it's going to get acted on, and those threats and those people and those issues are going to get removed out of our community. They're not going to be at our mosques anymore. They're not going to be showing up. But without that leadership, for as long as it's, oh, no, you can't pin it on all Muslims. It's, it's namby-pamby. They know nothing's going to get done.
And I do get really frustrated as too, because, to speak to the women, the amount of women who I've seen post-Bondi posting stuff about, we've got to remember, at the end of it, we're all humans, and it's humans against evil. It's not the religion. I'm like, no, it's the religion.
There is a religion that has a particular problem with this kind of stuff.
The terrorists happen to all prescribe to this same rhetoric, right?
See, all is the problem word there. Almost all is true.
Yeah.
All is not.
No, I said the terrorists.
Okay, but there have been acts of terrorism by people that aren't Muslims.
Okay,
now,
the majority then.
Correct. And the reason I pick you up is because that matters.
Yeah.
When you say all someone has to do, there you go, there's a word again, all someone has to do online is say, oh, but what about?
Yeah,
right? And
true.
that's where the whataboutism comes in.
Fair.
So if you listen to my language in my videos, there is almost always, the almost always in there.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fair. I stand corrected on that. I think I just get so worked up and frustrated because there's this sentiment around right now what we need is love. Right now we all need to come together. No, right now what we need are people who have a backbone, who are not afraid to say the thing in the face of people calling you Islamophobe or racist, because those words hold no weight. They mean nothing anymore.
But also, the abuse of language. It is not loving to let people get murdered.
Yeah.
Right? The loving thing to do in a situation like that is shoot the terrorist fucker in the face.
Yeah.
That is an act of love. Right? And so we've abused these words. We think that love means nice.
Yes.
No, sometimes you have to be tough on people in life.
I don't owe people nice. I actually said that the other day. I put up something. I had this girl, I think I mentioned it on Monday. She messaged me in the DMs and she was like, oh, I noticed you've been really quiet on the domestic violence, blah, blah, blah. And my response was, oh, another woke moron.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And in case that's not clear, fuck off, right? And I screenshot it and I posted it to my stories and I said, just so you know, I don't owe you nice.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a public figure or she's got a big following, she won't behave. No, you will get the exact same person that I am in person, online. It's all the same person.
Yeah.
And if I think you have crossed the line, if I think you're being a dickhead, I'm happy to say that.
Yeah.
I don't have to be all like magnanimous and, really humble and, I'll speak very clearly. And then behind closed doors, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, this is me.
Yeah. So there's a Shakespearean line, cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. And this concept of the dogs of war, the attack dogs, the vicious, slavering, eat anything, attack anything type of creature, they have a place. You need them in certain contexts. Now, when it's not a time of war and you don't want to let slip the dogs of war, you have to figure out what to do with them. But you can't wish them out of existence.
Yeah.
And if you succeed in getting them out of existence, then you don't have them when you need them in those moments. This is what Jordan Peterson talks about when he talks about becoming dangerous, but taming yourself, not so that you're domesticated, but so that you have that dangerousness.
The
under
warrior
control.
in the garden.
Correct.
Yeah.
The ability to call upon that, to let slip the dogs of war from within yourself when it is called for, but the discipline to not do that in those other moments where it's not called for. But what happens in our society at the moment is we're so focused on being nice and people's feelings that anytime someone exhibits any of those behaviors, even when it is in the right context, we condemn it. Oh, you can't be like that. You're just like them. If you shoot back, you're just the same as them. No, I'm not. I'm ending the violence.
Correct. Sometimes this whole thing, you can't end violence with violence. You
Yeah,
can.
you can. 100%.
You actually can.
Who has to stop being violent in order for the violence to stop? It's that question sorts through genuinely, I'm going to say 95%, but I suspect it's closer to 99% of all confrontations. You can get clarity on what needs to happen next by simply asking and answering this question. Which of the sides needs to stop being violent in order for the violence to stop?
Yeah.
Everyone could have stopped being violent back in return against these two terrorists, and the violence would not have stopped because they were the ones that brought it. The minute their violence stopped, the violence stopped.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
They brought it. They have to. The only way to end the violence is to end the violence that's coming from them, and sometimes that means to end them.
I see all these things again, and it comes from women. I'm so mad at feminism and this ridiculous rhetoric that women have of like, we need to be kind and everyone come together and it's like kumbaya. And I saw this how whenever these things happen, people rush to put up like illustrations, and I'm so virtuous because, there's a soldier holding a gun and I went and put a rose stem in his rifle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Do that to a Muslim extremist. Let's see how that goes for you, right? And this is the thing, we're not arguing on the same level. We've got people going, oh, it's just some naughty words, let's just be nice.
Yeah.
No, these are people who want to exterminate us.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that people don't understand about fundamentalist Islam. To be clear, Islamists. What they want is to firstly infiltrate, so they migrate into Christian countries, and then they populate by having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, as many as they can, and then they take over our parliament.
Yep.
And then what they want is a caliphate. That is it. This is about domination. This is not about assimilating and living with us and all having, our hands held together. No, this is about domination. And the more you refuse to see that, the longer this goes on. And contrast this to so many different stories popping up across this year that we've all talked about on this podcast. The Pakistani rape gangs. Who's doing that? The Islamists.
Yeah.
Who's allowing kids to get married off at 9 to 50-year-olds? Islamists.
Yeah.
Who's allowing women to be stoned to death in honor killings?
Yeah.
Islamists. Who's making women wear burqas and not be allowed to be educated? Islamists. Until you actually look these people in the eyes for what they are and believe them when they tell you, we don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And I understand not all Muslims are bad. No one said that. That's not my words. But if you're Muslim and you can tell me right now, after the spate of this stuff happening, that it's not all Muslims, so we need to be nice. No, sorry, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It's not all Muslims, so we need to not attack every Muslim, but we have no obligation to be nice to the people who are responsible.
If you're a Muslim and you're not demanding that those hateful clerics or whatever they call themselves in the Bankstown schools get kicked out of the country, you're not on our side. I'm sorry, you don't get to fence sit, and you certainly as shit do not get to call yourself a victim right now.
Yeah.
If you're a Muslim and you're not condemning these people and also asking for their immediate deportation, then as far as I see it, you're standing with them.
You are at the very least in silent consent.
Yes.
That is at a minimum.
That's what I mean.
And that's not my opinion. That is a legal principle. You are in silent consent.
If you are not calling these people out, we saw the two, one was Afghani, I can't remember what the girl was. I know the man was Afghani, the Bankstown nurses. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Who were caught calling for saying they'd kill Jews.
Yeah.
Straight away, the Muslim community weaponized it and saying it's not all Muslims. Okay, but two of these people in a hospital declared with confidence that they would kill Jews.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we do there? Oh, it's just two bad apples?
Yeah. And how do we tell them apart from the Muslims who would never do such a thing, right?
And how do we know? Because they're not exactly going to tell you before they're about to commit a terrorist
and
attack.
they didn't exactly look like jihadis.
They were young people.
Right? And this is the problem. This is why I say we need the help of the Muslim community to be able to actually know who's who. They have a much better idea than we do. But for them to do that, we need some leadership from Albo. We need him to actually stand up and say, hey, we're going to fix the problem people. We need your help to find out who the problem people are.
Can I play something? I saw this.
I can't stop you. So,
I thought this was worth seeing. And this is what fundamentalist Islam, just to be clear, I'm going to keep saying that and emphasizing that, Islam does to some of the most beautiful countries in the Middle East. I want you guys to look at this because this is real. All right? Hang on, sorry.
Would be Coptic.
Let me start that again, sorry, with the sound.
Without imperialism, Egyptians would be Coptic. Moroccans would be Berber. Libya and Algeria would be Amazigh. Syria and Lebanon would be Aramaic-speaking and partly Phoenician.
Hang on, what have I done?
Iraq would be Mesopotamian, Assyrian, Babylonian.
Sorry.
Sudan would be
That's my fault, sorry.
Yeah, we know.
Sorry.
I have control over none of these things.
Sorry. I was trying to line it up and then everything went to shit. Okay. Let's start it again, shall we?
Imperialism, Egyptians would be Coptic. Moroccans would be Berber. Libya and Algeria would be Amazigh. Syria and Lebanon would be Aramaic-speaking and partly Phoenician. Iraq would be Mesopotamian, Assyrian, Babylonian. Sudan would be Nubian. Tunisia would be Carthaginian, Punic, or Amazigh. Iran would be Persian, Zoroastrian. Kurdistan would be Median, Zoroastrian. Somalia would be Cushitic. Without Arab imperialism, there would be no Palestine movement. The Palestine ideology was only created as a political tool to delegitimize the only sovereign Jewish state. The Arab conquest erased civilizations and destroyed many cultures. Without Arab imperialism, the Middle East would still remember its own name. They are the colonizers. Without Arab imperialism,
I just want you to look at the pictures.
Coptic. Moroccans would be Berber. Libya and Algeria would be Amazigh. Syria and Lebanon would be Aramaic-speaking and partly Phoenician. Iraq would be Mesopotamian, Assyrian, Babylonian. Sudan would be Nubian. Tunisia would be Carthaginian, Punic, or Amazigh. Iran would be Persian, Zoroastrian. Kurdistan would be Median, Zoroastrian. Somalia would be Cushitic. Without
the reason I wanted to play that is look at how much richness of culture we have seen erased.
Now, I will respond to that by saying most of what she's talking about happened a long time ago. That's completely outside of our ability to influence. I mean, she's right because people dredge up grievances from the past and colonialism. You know, she's not wrong. But we can actually look at much more recent examples. Go back and look at photographs of Kabul or
Iran.
Yeah, in Iran. What's the capital there?
Tehran.
Tehran, yes, thank you. Go back and look at photos from the 70s, the 60s and 70s.
I'll pull some up.
Women are going to university. They're dressing in stylish ways that were popular at the time. They have optimism and hope in their life. And now we've erased all of that. The Iran, due to the US CIA sponsored revolutions and troubles over there, then reflexed back to the mullahs and became a hardline Islamic state. Afghanistan, despite 20 years of blood, sweat, tears, and an enormous amount of money, fell instantly to the Taliban, and now is in a horrible way. This is what happens to countries when you allow Islamism, the hardline Islamism, to take over. There are colour photos of I wouldn't even know what to say, 1970s Kabul photos.
Well, this is Iran. So
okay, it's Iran. So yeah.
Sorry, hang on. I'll make it full screen because this is just not going to work otherwise.
Yeah.
So this is Iran.
Okay. A bunch of bros. That could be downtown LA. All right. There's a picture on the top right. The picture on the top left. There's women on the beach. All right.
Yep.
There's women with books, reading, studying, whatever it is that they're doing. Right. This is what life.
This is what we lost
like.
To Islam.
Correct. To Islamism. Yeah.
This is what we lost to fundamentalism. Sorry, these aren't the best articles. I'm trying to.
This wasn't a planned topic, as you can see. The same is true in Kabul, and the same is true in so many other places as well. But those are the examples that I have in my head. You see the photographs of
How do you spell Kabul? Is it
Kabul?
Kabul.
Yeah, Kabul. In the 70s. It's just, there was a richness there, even so.
Look, then versus now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to go there and you guys can get as pissed off with me as you want. The fact that in 2025, this shit is happening.
Yeah, we've gone from the left to the right.
Disgusts me.
Right.
I hate it. It
that is
fills
not
me with
progress.
rage.
Yeah, that is not progress.
Young women are not allowed to be educated. They are stoned to death for honor killings. It is a level of barbaricness we haven't seen since the biblical age.
Yeah.
It is disgusting that this happens. I hate it. And I hate these people who hate us. I'm sorry. Get upset. Call me Islamophobe. The fact that this exists in 2025 where women can't show their face, they can't speak, they can't drive.
Yep. They have no rights, no
They have no
education,
rights.
no independence.
And not only this, in the court of law, I think it's in Iran or Afghanistan, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Iran. A woman's word counts for 50% of a man's.
Yeah.
So if a woman says she's raped and the man says he didn't, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
The
the
man
end of the
said he
story.
didn't. Yep.
Women have no rights in these countries.
Yep.
So when the Muslim women come and say to me, oh, no, it's a peaceful religion, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, how can you say that when this is happening in Iran, it's happening in Syria,
And
it's happening in Afghanistan, it's happening in Yemen?
You want to talk about domestic violence? Like all these hand wringers who want to get
It's
upset about
just-
domestic violence?
I need to bring up something else because we're going there and I'm going all in.
So while you look that up, there has been some progress though, because it used to be that in these countries, the men and the boys would walk in front of the women. The women were just relegated to 20 meters behind them, the women and the girls, and they couldn't walk as a family. They couldn't walk alongside their husbands or anything like that. But actually more recently, in a lot of these countries, the women have actually been walking ahead, about 20 meters ahead. The women and the girls have been walking actually in front of the men. And a researcher went into Afghanistan to say, what happened? Why, you used to make the women walk behind you. Now they actually get to walk out in front of you. Is this progress? Is this liberation? Why has this happened? And the man looked at him and said, well, landmines.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it.
No, I heard it. I heard that you told this joke before.
Oh, okay.
No. I told it.
One year in, I'm already recycling material.
I can't laugh at that because there's some truth to it. But I want to bring this topic up. People are like, oh, Carly isn't a feminist.
We really are going there, aren't we?
Gosh. Yeah, we're going
okay.
there.
Yep.
Because when people say I'm a racist or I'm Islamophobe or, I don't care about women, I care about women more than the feminists ever have. Because when do you ever hear these friggin' woke feminists talk about this shit? Female, for those who are listening, female genital mutilation. This is happening right now in 2025. More than 230 million girls and women alive today have had their genitalia mutated. And what they do is they cut off your clitoris, they cut off the outside of your labia, and in worst cases, they stitch parts of it up.
Yeah.
Talk about barbaric. This is all done under Islam. It's not just a cultural thing.
And
this is a religious practice.
It is explicitly, in part, there's a few reasons that they use to justify it, but it is explicitly in part to deprive the female of pleasure during sex.
Yes.
It is specifically to deprive her of her own sexuality, her own pleasure, and the ability to bond over the dopamine, etc., that comes from the pleasure of sex with her husband.
You want to talk about human rights? Like, this is the shit that I care about. I care about, if I could adopt young children from Afghanistan, I freaking would, as in the young girls. I would, I can't. I wish I could do more. I would go over there and rescue them if I could. I can't. And that's not white savior complex. That's just human being looking at that going, this makes me sick.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is going on in the world, and we always have to go, oh, can't say it's all Muslims.
Yeah.
And then by saying it can't be all Muslims, that immediately cuts off this conversation.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this. This is real. This happens right now. I'm going to read this out. So some of you guys may have never heard about this before. But men, I just want you to imagine if I was doing this to your dick, right? Like, let's just imagine that, okay? I castrate you. I cut your balls off. You can never orgasm, right? This is what happens to women. And men don't like to know about this stuff. Oh, it's a bit gross, Carly. I'm going to read it to you. There are 4 stages of female genital mutilation. Type 1.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, right. Well, I told you, I'm going to get spicy, and I don't fucking care anymore. Gloves are off. Type 1. This is the partial or total removal of the clitoris glands, the external and visible parts of the clitoris, which is the sensitive part of the female genitals, and the clitoral hood. That's part 1. So no pleasure. 2, this is the partial or total removal of the clitoral glands and the labia minora, the inner folds of the vulva, with or without the removal of the labia majora, the outside part. Type 3, also known as infibulation. This is the narrowing of the vaginal opening through the creation of a covering seal. The seal is formed by cutting and repositioning the labia minora or the labia majora, sometimes through stitching, with or without removal of the clitoral hood and glands. Do you understand what I'm saying? They sew up her fucking vagina. Are you hearing this? This is done in the name of Islam. Type 4. This includes all other harmful procedures to the female genitalia for non-medical purposes. Pricking, piercing, incising, scraping, and cauterizing the genital area. I'm sorry, do you need to hear that? And you tell me that we don't have a problem with radical Islamists?
There are people that do try and practice that in Australia. Obviously, it's when it is uncovered, it tends to get dealt with pretty harshly by the authorities in Australia for good reason, although there have been some exceptions. But there are people who want that to become universal in Australia. They have left countries where that happened, and they've come to Australia, and they're looking forward to the day when they can do that in Australia.
And just so you know, that is currently being practiced not only in the Middle East, in Tunisia, in Somalia, this is a cancer in Africa. It's not all just the Arab countries. This is spreading right now in Nigeria, in Sudan. And we can't talk about that because apparently Muslims are the protected species at the moment. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to bring up another one. We're going there.
Oh, fun.
Sorry.
But again, the bleeding heart liberals, blue heads want to talk about domestic violence. They want to talk about women being victims of male dominance, etc. Well, if you want to talk about that, sorry, but you can't divert a conversation away from Islam by talking about domestic violence. In fact, you've just got yourself deeper into a conversation about these hardline Islamic practices.
All right, I'm going to play this because Al Jazeera will tell you this isn't happening. But unfortunately, Google satellite images show that it is happening. So we're going to watch this.
African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups. The Nigerian government is doing very little to stop the attacks. Well, now religious freedom advocates, including one member of the U.S. Congress, are taking action. CBN's Kelly Wright has this look at the crisis.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
The video from the Father's Day massacre includes graphic images of people being burned alive, families attacked, and homes destroyed in Yelawata, Nigeria.
That very day, it was raining, so Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community and claimed so many lives.
Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yelawata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing Bondi.
Friday night, I was sleeping in my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break this house where my brother is sleeping here with his children. Thereby, they come, they kill people. They were breaking the house. Say, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
These first-hand accounts gathered by Truth Nigeria journalists describe the ongoing atrocities in a terror campaign to eradicate Nigeria's Christians. Judd Saul, filmmaker and missionary, the organizer of equipping the persecuted, highlighted this documentary as a way to sound the alarm.
We need to fight this thing threefold.
Sorry, it goes for about 10 minutes, but we need, I'm sorry, this needs to be brought to people. Look, no one's talking about that, are they?
Well, and why is it that Nicki Minaj has done more for persecuted Christians in as minorities in countries than entire multinational charities, the UN, etc.
It's anticipated that over 60,000 have been slaughtered in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And obviously this is happening in Sudan as well. I don't pretend to be the expert on this, but
it's happening in Myanmar, it's happening in so many different countries.
And this is Islam. This is what's doing it. So I'm sorry, when I hear Muslims cry, it's not all Muslims. Well, unfortunately, this is a Muslim problem. And if you don't speak up and if you're not on our side condemning it and trying to eradicate it, then you are complicit.
And again, I'm going to say it is a mostly Muslim problem. Unfortunately, in Myanmar, the example that I give, that's actually, I think it's a majority Buddhist country. Islam is only about 3, 4, 5% of the population. But yes, it is in the main, it is a hardline literal interpretation of the Quran leads to people getting killed.
Yeah.
That is true. And the problem that Muslims have, the ones that aren't violent, the ones that don't want to see this happening, is it's very difficult for them to, I'm just going to say it, they're the bad Muslims. As far as the Quran is concerned, they're the ones who aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Right? So
they're not committed.
So when it's the bad Muslims that are the non-violent ones and the actual strict committed ones that actually do what their holy book tells them to do that are the violent ones, well, you've got a pretty big problem at that point.
I want to play something else because we have been warned by Arabs over fundamentalists. And this is the thing I think very few Westerners understand.
Yeah.
Like in the UAE, they don't have a radical Islamist problem because they stamp it out. They are brutal. It doesn't happen in Saudi. I know there's terrorist cells in Saudi, but they are trying to get rid of it because they don't want these people. There is a reason Jordan and Egypt refuse to take Palestinians. They are themselves Muslim countries. They know what these people are. Why are we the ones that fall for it? So I'm going to play you this clip. I've got all this saved. I've been ready. I've been ready to go.
Islamist, fundamentalist, I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that. Ilhan Omar, she's fighting for abortion rights and all the other, my body, my choice. Yes, go do that, go do it. But would she have an abortion? Never. Never. Would she kill a Muslim in her stomach? Never.
What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim. When I was
Yeah, and that's very, very true. It's the useful idiots. This is why we've talked before, when we're on the ground in London, just after the October 7th attacks had happened, and the massive protests broke out, these pro-Hamas rallies, and I say that deliberately, they're not pro-Palestine, they were pro-Hamas rallies. You would see this mixed bag, this crazy mix of fruits and nuts, all packaged up together. There's the gays for Palestine, there's the socialists, there's the Islamists, there's the all these different special interest groups. They all marched, and it was very obvious that everyone thought that they were using everyone else.
Yeah.
The socialists thought that this is fantastic, we've hijacked this cause, our brand's getting out there, our signs are everywhere, man, this is going to be great for our cause. The gays and the trans for Palestine people are like, yes, visibility, we've got, we're on the right causes here, we've got our rainbow flags in this massive march that's going to be all over the news media. The truth is every single one of them are being used by the Islamists.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. Now, what's really interesting on that one is a large number of Islamic Middle Eastern countries have actually signed on to an accord that agrees that Hamas has to go.
Yes.
Right? So Hamas has to go according to Muslim countries in the Middle East, and yet our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese recognises the state of Palestine whilst it's run by Hamas, right? And tells us that that's the right thing to do. It's going to reduce the risk of terror attacks and all the rest of it. Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Short time later, terror has come to Bondi Beach, despite his wonderful recognising of the Palestinian state.
Did you see I can't remember if it's a prime minister or a president in Singapore. I forget which one he is. But did you see his remarks?
No, I didn't, and now it's bothering me. Is it a president or a prime minister? I think it's a president in Singapore.
Are they independent? Singapore president?
They were a part of the
Statement
Commonwealth, but
on Palestine.
Hitchhiker's Guide author was Douglas Adams, not Michael Douglas. That's where the Douglas triggered, and I went, hang on, but it was Douglas Adams.
Okay, so this is
just for those that have been hanging on the answer to that question.
This is. Yeah, the head of, I don't know, is he a president?
Now, Singapore will recognise the state of Palestine when it has an effective government that accepts Israel's right to exist and renounces terrorism. Singapore will, however, reconsider its position if the situation in Gaza continues to deteriorate. targeted sanctions for groups responsible for violence against Palestinians in the West Bank are also on the cards.
Be clear. Singapore has consistently held that Israeli settlements are illegal under international law. We have voted in support of UN resolutions that reject Israeli settlement activities, and we call and have called on Israel to rescind all unilateral measures seeking to change the status of Jerusalem. We call on the Israeli government to cease settlement construction and expansion.
The current Palestinian Authority...
He basically, I'm trying to find the part where he says, we will recognise Palestine as a state. Is it this bit?
Still tracking developments closely. Events are unfolding quickly and remain unpredictable.
In the meantime...
Oh, sorry, I haven't found the clip. But yeah, he basically, what she said, he will recognise Palestine once they get rid of Hamas and once there is a functioning government. Why couldn't Elbow say that?
And importantly also, according to the reporter there, acknowledge the right of Israel to exist.
Yes. And yet Elbow can't say that. And we know this because Elbow, do you know he was there with Yasser Arafat?
And when you say there, you mean in Israel? Or?
No. So this is, he met with Yasser Arafat. So
right, okay.
Albanese met with Yasser. Yeah, there he is. So, of course, it's bloody Sky News. I hate bringing up Sky News. Everyone will be like, oh, it's Murdoch. It's a Murdoch paper. Here we go. So, images surface of Anthony Albanese meeting with late Palestinian President Yasser Arafat.
When did that happen?
Let me play Shari. Let's see what she says. Where's the noise?
A pro-Palestinian activist. I can reveal Albanese met with the late Palestinian President Yasser Arafat 2 years before he, Albanese, protested against Israel during the Second Intifada. And that was the violent Palestinian uprising that included terror attacks. Our now Prime Minister took part in a rally in Sydney where Israeli and American flags were burned. Albanese also met with Arafat, the terrorist turned president of the PLO, in Ramallah 2 years earlier in 1998.
So he went there.
Unlike other politicians who met with Arafat, Albanese did not meet the Israeli Prime Minister at the time. It was Benjamin Netanyahu or the Israeli President, Ezer Weizmann, on his trip to the Middle East. Albanese was on a trip sponsored by the Palestine Liberation Organization, and it was all expenses paid, including flights and accommodation. Sources who knew Albanese at the time told me he was starry-eyed and fawning at the prospect of meeting Yasser Arafat. Here is a photograph that captured that moment.
There he is.
You're going to make me reach for my glasses?
Oh, sorry.
I think I left them downstairs.
Oh, he's there on the left. Can I zoom in? There you go. Does that help? That's him there.
Okay.
Yasser
I'll have to take your word for it. Okay. I can recognise Yasser Arafat. I'd recognise that headscarf anywhere.
Yeah, let's see
you
what
can
else she
see
says.
Albanese sitting on the far left of the screen. Next to him is a former Labor MP, Leo McClay, who was strongly anti-Israel. Then in the centre, there's Arafat. To the right of Arafat is one of his advisors, who then sits next to the former Palestinian delegate, or ambassador in inverted commas, Ali Kazak. And then on the far right of your screen is Joe Hockey, who was also on the trip.
Right, okay.
Joe Hockey's father was born in the Palestinian territories, and he and Albanese set up the Australian Parliamentary Friends of Palestine group together. National Party MP Peter McGauran, who'd worked on a kibbutz in Israel and had visited Israel on many occasions, was also present. I asked the...
Right. Yeah.
So why isn't Albanese doing anything? Because he doesn't want Israel to exist. That's your answer.
Well, and in more pressing political matters, because let's be honest, he doesn't actually care about anything but himself. He can't afford to lose the votes in Western Sydney.
Correct. I don't think people realise how bad Western Sydney is. It is a Muslim enclave where there are a huge amount of Islamists that live there and also espouse these horrible views.
When seats are won on margins as little as 1 vote, but typically a few percent, having a 10% population of a very strongly unified minority group is enough to turn elections.
Yeah.
And it becomes terrifying for politicians. It's one of the reasons we see the pandering that we see to various lobby groups and interest groups. This is not unique to Muslims only. They're just one of the identifiable groups. And they do tend to congregate geographically. So whilst Australia-wide, they'll be whatever percentage they are, I actually don't know. Within those areas where they've congregated, they quickly become 5, 10, 15, 20% of the population there.
Yeah.
In some places, considerably more. And that is enough to turn an election. That is enough to change a seat.
Yeah. And that, I think that's the thing that so many Australians miss as well. Like, it is a slim margin that a lot of them are able to obtain and then keep power. But further to that, very few of them are in politics because they actually want to push for change or reform or achieve things. A lot of them now are using it, as we've said before, as a catalyst to start the rest of their career.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah. And so, when they cut up and they talk about things that make everyone go, oh, that's all warm and fuzzy, it's not because they believe it.
No.
And the thing is, people take them at face value. Oh, he says he cares, so he must care.
Yeah. So I've got a video coming out later today. In fact, it's literally waiting for me. And when we finish finish recording this podcast, I'll be uploading it. But I break down what I'm calling the gun grabber's manual. It's a messaging guide for people that want gun control. And this is relevant to the conversation. In it, they have do's and don'ts. They tell you what language to use. And one of the things they say, one of the phrases they advocate for is to use the phrase, "It breaks my heart." Right? Now, just stop for a minute. That is borderline sociopathic. Right? If you need to be coached to say the phrase, "It breaks my heart," clearly it doesn't break your heart, right? You're sitting there studying, reading notes, or how do I need to behave in order to manipulate people to get the reaction that I want? That is sociopathy.
Yeah.
You are mimicking and feeding people what you believe is going to get you what you want from them. A messaging handbook advocating, a messaging handbook designed to turn people into sociopaths. This is what we see in our politicians now. They are not thinking about what's right and what's best. They're thinking about what do I need to do or say in this moment to get from the audience the thing that I need from them. And they've got messaging handlers, they've got speech writers, they've got people doing focus groups and testing messaging on different demographics and segments of the potential audience. They're spending, in the case of Daniel Andrews in Victoria during COVID, we know that he was spending millions of dollars on testing these messages to make sure that he got the desired result. This is institutionalized pathology. This is institutionalized sociopathy. I can't see any other way to look at it.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Where do you go from there?
Lighten the podcast a little bit. I don't have anything.
I tried with the joke, but it turns out I was recycling it and it didn't work. So.
Well, I think. Hang on.
I'll hang on.
I'm going to play this. I think this is going to piss us off.
Are we going to regret this?
Hang on.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Just a bit of casual racism there for your Wednesday evening.
Yeah, so that is a Muslim woman.
So I'm trying to think of her name.
Iman Omar.
Ilhan Omar. That's what it is. Ilhan
Omar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was looking at her face going, I know who that is. But
and
I
obviously
can't think
she's
of it.
in the news a lot at the moment for some dodgy shit. But that is the cavalier attitude of a majority of Muslims. Actually, no, let's deflect. I'm sorry. There is only one radicalized religious group that is slaughtering people. That is Islamists.
So what's amazing here is we would get told off anytime we say anything about Islam. Oh, that's racist. Well, hang on, we're not talking about a race.
Yeah.
Right. We're talking about a belief system, a religion that can be adopted by white people, by the way. And yet, when the question is put to her about that religion, she immediately starts talking about race.
Oh, it's white man. It's white man. Okay, so let's just clarify this. Ilhan Omar is from Somalia.
Yeah.
Right now, there is a massive issue blowing up in the States about fraud from the Somali community who have funneled billions of dollars back to Somalia through Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Sorry.
Massachusetts. Chewing gum. Have your teeth stuck together? Massachusetts.
That place.
Yeah.
What you said, right? And Somalia is the worst country on this planet for corruption. The worst. It's literally at the bottom of the list, right? Not only that, do you know what is heavily practiced in Somalia?
Well, female genital mutilation.
Thank you.
Yep.
So for this woman,
and honour killings and murdering of Christians,
correct,
and all of the above. Yes.
So this is what pisses me off. How can someone sit there in US Congress and look at people and say, actually, the problem is white men?
Because she doesn't care what the actual problem is. She's not here to fix a problem. She's here to advance a cause.
She's here to advance Islam.
Yeah.
100%. And, I will say this to the Muslims who aren't, rage quitting this podcast right now. And, if you don't want people to disrespect Muslim people, then you have a choice. Join us in condemning them, or you will. I say this all the time. If you want to know how this breeds extremism on the right, it's because you ignore this problem on the left.
Right. That's right. Tommy Robinson would not be where he is, and I would go so far as to say Reform would not be where they are if UK authorities had not tried to bury the Pakistani rape gangs.
Yeah.
If they had actually brought down the law equally, blindly, irrespective of skin colour or religion or anything else, and just said, this is the law in this country, we will apply it, we will apply it properly and fully to absolutely everybody equally, the UK would not be having the reform moment they're having. Tommy Robinson would not be the famous man that he is. Neither would Nigel Farage. He'd be that dude involved with Brexit, and that'd be it. That would have been the end of his political career. They are where they are because the authorities turned a blind eye, and then people who tried to draw people's attention to it were punished for it.
Yeah.
And if we repeat those mistakes here in Australia, we're going to see, were they mistakes in hindsight? I don't mind the fact that reform is rising and Tommy Robinson is well known. But
that's the flashpoint that you were talking about.
If we do the same thing and we deny people the ability to have these conversations like what we're having on this podcast, and we start treating people differently based on their race or based on their religion, not applying our laws to them, well, then we breed exactly this reaction.
Now, I want to play you this. Did you see this? I thought this was wonderful. This is one of the ladies who's, I think it's her father, was a victim. Wasn't a victim, but he was shot, and he's now currently recovering.
Well, that makes him a victim, but yes, he wasn't killed.
Sorry, that's what I meant. And this, I thought this was perfect.
How are you feeling right now? Because, there's some really good things happening here around this community. Like, a lot of people are coming together.
We're so appreciative of that, How are we feeling? Is this what you wanted? Is this enough now? Will you listen to us? Albanese, Wong, will you listen to us? Will you actually do something? Will you actually... don't have to stand up and say anything because we don't believe you anyway. And ABC, I've got to say, will you cut out the biased reporting? Mainstream media, we feel will you cut it out? Will you actually let us have a voice? Because we feel that part of the reason that the Jewish people have experienced such a massive change in Australia towards us. I'm Aussie. But I'm not a religious Jewish girl, but a woman. But since October the 7th, since all the hatred that's been thrown at us, I started to wear my Magen David because I'm Jewish, and if you have something to say, you can say it to me. And ABC, please stop with the biased reporting.
Victoria, we are so sorry for what you are going through and what you have been through, and we really hope that your father recovers. I know all of us here, we are horrified by what has been going on.
I hate that. We're horrified. Yeah, but you caused it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We didn't know it would go this bad.
It's similar to when I did a video about the interview with the World War II veteran who was interviewed on British TV. And they asked him, you know, oh, how does it feel? And he's like, this country's a bloody disgrace. This isn't what my buddies fought and died for, and so forth. And the host just said, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes my skin crawl.
I just want to remind you guys, this happened. I'm just pulling up the photo. Here we go. How did we get here? Oh, I don't know. Because of this? How did we see this? Oh, I don't know, because you did nothing about this?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that is the flag of jihad. That is the Taliban. And also ISIS use it, whatever. It is a call to war. And they are in Sydney.
It's not a call to war, it's a call to murder.
Yeah. Well,
it's war. You wear uniforms and you respect the rules of war. This is about murder and genocide.
Yes, absolutely. How did we get here? Because so few of you, and I'm sorry, audience, I'm coming for you, because you didn't condemn it when you should have. How do we get people slaughtered on Bondi? Because you don't speak up, because you don't say anything, because you're afraid of being called a racist or Islamophobe. You need to laugh in the face of those people now. Those words mean nothing. The only thing that matters post-Bondi is immediate action. And I'm going to bring up this again. So where is she? Bloody, like, here we go. This is the flag in the Martin Siege. Remember the Lindt? And here it is. This is it. This is in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
We just saw the ISIS flag in this thing. These are people who are marching here in Australia who hate us.
Yep.
And we're not allowed to say
by the way,
anything.
Senator Marine Faruqi, who was at the front of the march across
That's
the
who I
Sydney
was
Harbour
trying
Bridge,
to
which had one of those flags very, very close to the front there, among others. No, we're allowed to believe people when they tell us that they want to kill.
Yeah.
Right? We're allowed to say, oh, okay, yep, those words have meanings. You've chosen those words. You could have said, I want to bake cupcakes and raise chickens, right? But you said, I want a global intifada. That's what they chose to say. Okay, well, we're allowed to actually say, we believe you, and we're going to act accordingly.
There's a heap of photos. This is the one I wanted. Sorry. So how did this happen? Let's have a look. It happened because right there is a sitting Green senator, and behind her,
I think she's standing in the photo, but yeah.
Sorry, standing. Sorry. And behind her is
Trying to add a bit of levity to a very heavy topic.
I don't think you can laugh about this. That is the Ayatollah of Iran, right? One of the biggest terrorist states on this planet.
Yeah, and zoom out off to the left of that. You can't. Obviously, the photo is what it is. But to the left, there's an Islamic State flag flying as well.
So how did we get here? Because nothing happened when that happened. Because when Clementine Ford is going up there and doxing Jews, people go, oh, well, but Israel's mean and mean. Oh, Israel's bad.
In Melbourne, there were protests where families of the victims of the October 7th attack were flown from Israel to some sort of an event, presumably a Jewish community event. I'm actually not sure. But they were flown to Melbourne to participate in an event, and the details of the hotel they were staying in was leaked. So the pro-Palestine protesters showed up outside the hotel where families who had lost family members in the October 7th attack were, and started all their chants and started all their River to the Sea, Intifada, all that stuff.
Remember
in front of families who lost loved ones.
Yep, and then this happened. Jewish leaders attend the Adass Israel synagogue for the firebombing, right?
Yeah,
so
anniversary of it.
That was that happened in Melbourne. Nothing happened about it. And even at Bondi, did you see this? Hang on, sorry, I'm live Googling as we go. Bondi, woman wearing keffiyeh rocks up to morning. Oh, I don't even know what I'm typing in. This happened. This literally, here we go. This is. These people
Why
are
have you
fucking
turned up
insane.
Here wearing a Palestinian keffiyeh? Are you trying to antagonise the Jewish community?
I came here today because I'm a Jewish person.
Trying to get it to
because my family was murdered in the Holocaust. Because I have community members murdered.
Let's go.
And I'm being threatened with arrest for walking with the press.
Move, please.
Were there no Israeli flags here, we would not have worn a keffiyeh. Because this community has politicized this tragedy, we are standing here because the flag of Israel represents the genocide.
I'm sorry. These people are fucking insane. insane.
Yeah, poor taste doesn't quite capture that, does it?
Yeah.
It's, wow.
And I mean, it's Wednesday. Let's see if the protest happens in Melbourne on Sunday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really interesting test.
There's one more thing. Bankstown, what are they called? The religious leaders?
Imam.
Iman? How do I spell that?
I-M-A-M.
Bankstown, I-M-A-M.
M-M-M-M on the end.
Imam, speaking about jihad. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Where is he? The Australian preacher. Where is he?
Apparently on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to get his speech. There he is. That's his name. Wissam Haddad. That's it. I need to get his video. The reason I'm playing this, you've probably seen it, but I don't think our...
It's just going to make me angry again. I'm tired. It's the end of the year. I'm so tired.
Let's end it with a bang. Let's just be fucking
we're
furious.
2 hours in. We still haven't got to all the how they're going to save us with all the gun laws.
Okay, so this guy is tied to Naveed Akram, right? So, where is his speech? Sorry, because there's so much coverage. Like the stuff I'm looking for
buried.
is
it's all buried.
Or is this? Here we go. Okay, so will it play?
We're going to get done for copyright.
Oh, the ads apparently don't happen. I'll keep it muted until the ad goes
to
away.
the ads, yep. 15 seconds, everybody.
La, 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 la. Everyone take a breath. Exhale.
All right,
Thank you so much for joining me. What was the evidence today given by Wissam Haddad?
Well, this was Wissam Haddad's day on the...
That's not the speech.
Yeah, I was going to say
I need
that's
the
something to do
speech.
with
Sorry.
Look, that might be something that we need to be more prepared for rather than live Googling. We do need to get to what's happening with the political reaction and the Prime Minister having called his National Cabinet together. And boy, he had announced not only that he was gathering the National Cabinet, but he'd announced that they were going to look at tougher gun laws less than 24 hours after the attack.
Can I just lighten the mood for just 2 seconds?
Okay, sure.
Just a little palate cleanse. It's not quite a tangent.
Yeah.
But it just, I'm trying to lighten the load. This is, I think, beautiful protesting.
If you expect me to read those signs, you're dreaming.
Okay, let me speak. On the left, you have a vegan activist who's saying that dairy, it's a cheese stand. It's a cheese expo or something like that.
Right.
And the person on the left is a vegan protester, and the person in the yellow is dressed up as a piece of cheese.
Right.
And he's saying, don't let these jerks ruin your experience or something like that. And then so what happens now, this chick, another one's rocking up to the right, and hang on.
Wait a sec. There's something for everyone.
He swaps the sign so it's pointing the other way. And then people are laughing.
Yeah.
That's the best way to protest.
That's how you do it.
With humour.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. Anyway.
So the recommendations have come out. I think I've got them on my phone.
Well, it's the guns.
Well, it's obviously the guns. Even though Australia has some of the strictest gun regulations in the Western world, clearly the reaction has to be, we're taking the guns. Now, he came out of his National Cabinet meeting, and by the way, Susan Lee, the opposition leader, provided no opposition whatsoever, fell immediately into line and said, hey, yes, we are going to support the government in whatever it is that comes out as recommendations, including, yes, potentially gun laws, etc. Now, this is coming from Susan Lee, as I've talked about in videos before. She used a semi-automatic rifle. She didn't fire it, but she brandished it and threatened a person that she perceived to be a threat. Might have been right, might have been wrong. Nobody will ever know. She perceived somebody to be a threat to her when she was camping in a remote New South Wales area. She brandished her gun. The person left.
Susan Lee did this?
Susan Lee did this.
I did not know this.
She's told this story in her in an interview in the media. So she used a firearm in self-defense. Now, she was a much younger woman. This could be 40 years ago. I don't know exactly. But she was a much younger woman. And she brandished and essentially threatened somebody with a gun, a semi-automatic rifle, as it happened, for her own protection, for her own safety. And she denies that anyone else today should have access to the same equipment for the same purpose as what she used it for as a younger woman. So she's already said she's supporting the government. Now, even to his credit, John Howard, I've got a lot of issues with a lot of what he's done. He's come out and said, don't allow the argument over gun laws to be a distraction from the anti-Semitism. And as you rightly point out, that's just a euphemism now for extreme Islam. And others are at least trying to bring a bit of rationality to this, but the government and the opposition are both just going for the guns. So these are the options that are being reported by Channel 9 that have come out of this national cabinet. These are the things that they're looking at doing. Accelerating work on standing up, which is just a fancy way of saying doing the National Firearms Register. Quick question. The guns were registered. How would a national register have changed anything at all?
It wouldn't have.
They just want a national register.
Yeah.
And this is their opportunity to tell us, see, we're doing something.
It's the, what did you say? The do something.
It's the do something reflex.
Yeah.
But the depth of cynicism here to say, hey guys, we have an opportunity to fast track the thing we already wanted to do, even though it will make no difference whatsoever.
Yep.
We're going to stand on the graves of these dead people over here. We're going to cry crocodile tears about the tragedy of it, and then use it as a platform, weaponize the sympathy as an excuse for us to ram through onto the public something which they never asked for, but we've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
The depth of cynicism, the lack of humanity to walk into a cabinet meeting and say, guys, we're going to do this thing. How will it help? It won't. Doesn't matter.
I want to play you this from Richard Marles.
There's 4 more recommendations which we'll get to.
Sorry,
That's
this is the cavalier attitude of Richard Marles. This is where is it? I saved it. Was it on X or was it on Instagram? Do you want to go through that as a pull up?
Yeah, we'll keep going. Allowing for additional use of criminal intelligence to underpin firearms licensing that can be used in administrative licensing regimes. Are you trying to say that they're not already using people's criminal history and criminal background? Like, is that, because that sounds like criminal negligence on the part of the government. But anyway, let's move on. Limiting the number of firearms to be held by one individual. Well, individuals are pretty limited to how many they can hold because they've only got 2 hands, right? And the number that they have in the gun safe or in their collection doesn't really change the fact that they can only hold 2 at a time. And if they want to use it effectively, they're only going to hold 1. This is literally window dressing. And we saw this right from the get-go. As soon as the information came out that he was a licensed gun owner and he had 6 guns, you knew straight, the 6 guns.
Yeah.
It's in the media reporting for a reason. They're going for that. Now, for those that aren't shooters, I'm not a shooter. I don't have a gun license. I don't own any guns. I don't have a dog in this fight. This isn't about my hobby. But there are very good reasons why an avid shooter, whether they're a hobbyist or whether they're a competitive shooter or whether they're a farmer or a hunter, what have you, there are good reasons why they would need a bunch of different guns. And it's similar to the reasons why someone who's an avid cyclist ends up with a bunch of bicycles, right? It's because, well, that's the bike I used to have, which I thought was good. And then I realized I didn't like that bike anymore, so I wanted a different one. And then I got one that was more lightweight, etc. They end up with this collection of bikes. Most of them are just sitting there not being used most of the time. It's the same thing with shooting. Well, I need to have a 22 because that's the cheapest way to practice and do lots of shooting and work on your marksmanship skills without burning through thousands of dollars worth of ammo. Then I bought that rifle because I thought that's going to be a great hunting rifle because it's powerful enough to take down the game that I like to shoot. But then I started actually doing long range hunting and I'm hiking for days across the bush and I realized that damn thing's too heavy. So I bought a lightweight version of the same rifle and then I realized I needed a different caliber because I wanted to shoot something even bigger, and legally and ethically you can't shoot a big animal with a small bullet. So and very quickly before you know it, I've done a bit of skeet shooting with a mate. That was really fun. So I bought myself a double-barreled shotgun, and then I really like this historic. This is a World War II rifle. This is a Mauser that saw action somewhere during the war, and I just really like it as a piece of history. Bang, 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 bang. Suddenly you've got 10 guns.
Yeah.
And the media treat you like you're some kind of a freak, like you're some kind of a monster. Why would you have 10 guns? Well, because you like them, because you collect them, because you use them, because you need different ones for different purposes. So this idea, not only will it not reduce the danger that is posed, it also, like, it's literally window dressing. This is like the TSA, the security theatre. Oh, we'll reduce how many they're allowed to own. Fuck off.
Yeah.
2 more. Limiting open-ended firearms licensing. Open-ended firearms licensing. What they mean by that is that there's no expiry on firearms licenses. They never have to be renewed. That's a lie.
Yeah.
They do have to be renewed. Now, the states are different. They have different timeframes, etc. But open-ended firearms licensing is not a thing. So the National Cabinet have put their heads together and in their infinite wisdom, they've said, we're going to put an end to a thing that isn't happening. Last one, a condition of firearms license is holding an Australian citizenship. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of people asking, why wasn't that already the case? That sounds an awful lot like negligence. So, and at that point, they're going to do those things and they'll be like, okay, job done, guys.
Yeah, we
did
a thing.
World. We've saved the world. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And the do something reflex, they will have done something. Everyone's saying, oh, do something. This is an outrage. This is an atrocity. You have to do something. Okay, we'll do something.
Yeah.
Does the something help? No. Does it actually make some things worse? Yes. Will it stop another atrocity? Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
The deadliest atrocity in a Western nation since 9/11, did I mention this earlier in this podcast? I don't remember if I've already mentioned it, was Madrid. The bombings in Madrid, 11th of October, I think it was 2004, a series of coordinated bombings on trains in Madrid. 193 people killed. The second deadliest in a Western country since 9/11 was the Bataclan hostage situation, followed by the massacre that happened. So this is in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo killings, and then in Paris they took over the Bataclan theatre. I think it was 400 and something people in the theatre. 130 were killed. Right, that involved guns. So the first one, the deadliest one, no guns, just bombs. Second one, definitely guns.
Yeah.
Third one, the Nice truck attack.
Yeah.
This guy drives a 9-ton truck through a crowd. 550 people were wounded or killed. 86 of that 550 were killed.
Yeah.
Right? These are the top three. Bombs, guns, truck.
Yeah.
We have them use guns in Australia, and immediately, we better ban the guns.
Yeah.
That'll fix it. No one will be able to figure out how to do an attack if we just make it even harder to get guns.
Well, what I said yesterday on my live, that people were like, I didn't think about this. And again, I can't keep excusing naivety. Like, at this point, I'm sorry, if you don't use this freaking thing in your hand to start learning shit, I can't help you.
Boy, are you in for a bad life.
Yeah, I'm just done.
If that's where you're at.
I'm just done.
It's going to get hard for you.
I don't know. You do fucking know. Like, oh God, sorry, I'm coming. Okay, so I said on my live yesterday that the guns is just the first part.
Yeah.
They fire up as many people as they can, and once they have used all their ammo, they have the IED in the car. They go and get that, and they wait for all the police and the ambos and the first responders and the public to rush over to help these people, and then they set off the bombs. That's how you get the mass casualty event.
And that's not speculation, by the way. That's something that has happened on numerous occasions, mostly in non-Western
That's what they're
countries.
trained to do.
But they'll set off a van with a bomb in it, and then that'll kill a bunch of people and injure a bunch of people. All the first responders come in, and then they set off the big one.
Yeah.
That's where they'll have a truck with a bomb in it parked 5 spaces over that didn't get detonated by the explosion from the van, but now this one goes off, and it's 4 times the size, and that's where they get their casualties.
And people are like, that's speculation. No, that's
That
literally
happens.
what they are taught to do.
Yeah, it's history. Yeah.
And this is the thing, I go on and on. I feel like I just repeat myself. I get to a point where I'm like, why am I bothering? I've said all this 100 times. Like, if you're not, pardon me, willing to open up the history books and learn and realize that these are just repeat things, I don't know how else to help you at this point.
Well, because a lot of people are busy, they don't have the time, they're distracted.
No, sorry.
No. Rational ignorance. We've been through this before. Rational ignorance. People sit there and go, I can't change it, so I'm going to invest my energy. And we advocate for this. We tell people, spend your energy in the areas where it can make a difference. Rational ignorance is a thing. No one has enough bandwidth for absolutely everything in life.
True, but I will not take the whole I don't have time. I can't accept that as an argument.
Well, then you're expecting people to be experts on absolutely every single thing
I'm
because we don't know what's going to become relevant in any given moment in time.
I would say, like, day to day, you don't need to know everything. But when something like this happens, if you want to speak on it, please do yourself a service and at least get a little bit of a handle on the context to it before you start going, I know exactly what to do.
All right, so can I reframe it a little bit?
Yeah.
Because you are going to spend the rest of your life saying the same thing over and over again. Jordan Peterson would make the same complaint. Any person who is a thought leader would make the same complaint. What's his name? Anthony Robbins. He's been saying the same damn thing. Robert Kiyosaki.
So what you're saying is I should just
run
myself into a brick wall.
What I'm saying is that your role in what you just said is as the person through whom people become less ignorant.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so...
Do you want one?
No, thank you. So you can't sit there and say, well, you shouldn't be ignorant. No. You've decided that you're going to be a voice. You're going to be a mouth. Our role is to be the mechanism by which people become less ignorant. And that's why we have to talk about things that are topical, because that's all of a sudden the thing. People have got opinions. People have got feelings. It's our role in all of that to be the voice of reason, to bring sanity in all of the madness, sense in the senselessness. So this is the profession we've chosen. You are going to be saying the same damn thing over and over again. Well, then
I feel like I got bullied into it.
The profession chose you. But this is what we do. And honestly, this is the value that we bring, is the ability to speak into these moments and to bring some rationality and to help draw people out of their ignorance in that moment. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to suck it up and accept the fact that you will continuously be dealing with people who know less about these topics than you. And if they knew more about these topics than you, then there'd be no place for you. Sorry, that's your fate. Deal with it. And I deliberately stopped talking while you had a mouthful of food, just to put you on the spot. Hang on, can we just... That's better.
My teeth are stuck together. Honeycomb will do that to you.
It will do that to you.
I'm eating chocolate because I'm stress eating. I need sugar.
Am I stressing you out?
No. I think I am. I think it's a combination of it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
This is a shit topic, and I feel like, when I say I'm annoyed and exhausted, I have been saying the same thing since COVID. It's the thing is different, as in the topic is different.
The moment.
But the values, coming back to values, and we're going to do this in the new year.
Yes.
You heard that the ex-Islamist that spoke before the video I played, where he said the left have no principles and no values. And I agree with that. They're very secular, but they are beholden to whatever the new thing is. And as the horizon keeps shifting on the progressive left, they have to keep up with it.
That's
or then
the train going to the next station, always going to the next station.
And they cannot keep up. And then if they fall off, then they get eaten alive by their own clan. Yep. On the right, we argue all the time. That's because we have our principles and values. And I think that's why you and I do so well in this podcast, because I have my values, you have yours.
Yeah, and we clash from time to time.
And we clash. Yep. But that shows the power in our conviction on those values.
Yeah, I'm right, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering.
I let him be right, but whatever. Anyway, I think everyone knows who the favourite is of this podcast. It's the pretty one.
But you mean the Grinch mask? The
Grinch
is the favourite.
I'm itchy from it. I wasn't even wearing it. I feel itchy.
I'm pretty traumatised. Anyway, sorry, I've derailed you yet again.
Where was I going? What was I talking about? Oh, the values thing, right? If you guys are watching this and, you have value in the podcast, thank you firstly for watching. I do appreciate it. And I know I am a hothead, but, what can I do?
And boy, she's hard on you guys. And she always says,
from a place of love.
I'm not trying to be mean. No, she's right. She's not trying. She is not trying to be mean. This is the natural default state of Carl's.
I am a tough love kind of person, but
just without the love.
Only because, and I said this to someone the other day because they're like, oh, sometimes you're really harsh in your delivery. And I'm like, do you know what? It's because I care. If I didn't care, do you think I'd get so worked up?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when I get fiery, when I get spicy, that's because I actually care. I'm invested. And when it comes to values and things like that, if you don't have values or you don't know what they are or you feel unclear on them, let us teach you how to create. I'm not saying adopt mine, by the way. I'm saying my values are my values based on my life and what I think is important. We're going to teach you how to find those values, because when it comes to anything like this, I don't know what to do, or I don't know what position to take, or I'm confused. Your values are a foundation. They're an anchor that allow you to take a minute and go, what is right or wrong based on what I fundamentally believe and what I value?
Yeah.
And then you are able to speak from that. I'll give you an example. Abby Chatfield. I knew you drink.
Everybody get drunk.
I can't drink. Oh, no, thank God.
Tell your livers to brace themselves.
I was like, if I drink any more, I'm like, we've got 45 minutes. I can probably hold on for that. But any more drink?
We do not have 45 minutes.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Anyway.
The kid in the back seat of the
I'm
car.
just like, la, 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 la. Yeah. I wasn't there. No one talk about it. Where did I go?
Abby Chatfield.
Okay.
We were going down that very well-worn road.
All right. The reason I bring her up is because she is
interactive. Oh my goodness.
She is in this because of course she had to have an opinion on
this.
We
couldn't have an episode 50 without an Abby Chatfield.
No, well, it'd be rude. I mean, Bondi Blue hasn't done anything.
Well, yes, because she's in prison.
No, she got a $20 fine and deported.
What?
That's it.
Oh, goodness.
$20.
Shows you how well I stay across these cultural stories.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
really,
come on, Indonesia. You had an opportunity.
You had one job, Indonesia.
All right.
You've got the death penalty. You had one job.
I mean, at least sponge some money off her. Jesus. All right. Okay, so this is Avi shared Abby's video, but she posted this to her TikTok. So I'm going to play it. It goes for ages. Oh, no, it goes for a minute or so. We're not going to play the whole thing.
As an Australian, as someone that lives in Bondi, first of all, our tragedy is not yours to politicise, particularly when your politicisation makes no fucking sense. As an Australian, as someone that lives in Bondi,
yeah.
First of all, our tragedy
is
not yours to...
So that she went on, but our tragedy is not yours to politicise. But me saying that some incel should take out Donald Trump, I can say
that's
that.
That's right. I can interfere in American politics as much as I want.
The reason I bring that up is you need to see the hypocrisy and realise that when these people like Abby call you a racist, they're losers. These people are not people to take seriously. Yeah. So if you're worried that someone's going to go, oh, you're Islamophobe or you're a racist or whatever, look at the intellect of these people. Come on.
Now, the gun debate is kicked off and Americans have gotten involved in that. Matt Walsh has weighed in, a bunch of others have weighed in. And there was an interesting take by Sydney Watson.
Yes.
So I like a lot of her
love
work.
Sydney.
I don't agree with everything she says. I don't agree with everything you say. You know, that's pretty much a universal truth.
Because he's a misogynist.
That's right. But she says a lot of good stuff, and she made a really good point on this, although I disagreed with her conclusion, which is why I bring it up. So she made the great point. She's talking to Americans like, guys, don't bother trying to sway Australians. You don't understand how Australians view guns. Most Australians know nothing about guns. They've never even touched one. There's no gun culture. There's no understanding of the concept of self-defense using a weapon, or that doesn't exist in Australia.
Yeah.
And she's spot on. She's absolutely correct. And I reposted her to my ex with this reply, which was essentially, you're right about Australians, but I disagree with the conclusion that therefore we shouldn't be talking about it. Because if we should only talk about things once we're in the majority or once we have support or only talk about the things that people can understand, then we never move the needle. And the example that I use is One Nation. For 20 years, you could argue they've been pissing in the wind. They've been wasting their breath. They've been saying all these things. No one cares. They went backwards.
If I'm frustrated. How does Pauline feel?
Yeah, I know, right? they had an initial bit of a run there in the 90s, and then after that, it's been pretty much flatline, and they really weren't getting anywhere. And now, all of a sudden, they're hot on the heels of the Liberal Party, 25-odd years after it all kind of kicked off. And so I think there's value in saying what's true, irrespective of whether people are ready to hear it, of whether they're going to comprehend it, of whether they. I mean, I know I am in a very small minority when I say yes, we should have shotguns in our homes to be able to blast the head off someone who kicks the door in. Absolutely, I know I'm in a minority. Does that mean that I shouldn't speak? I'm not allowed to have an opinion just because it's not the majority? Of course I'm allowed to. And these are the times when we do move the needle. We're not going to be in a majority anytime soon, but we move the needle a little bit with a few people. And so I think this is an argument and a debate, and yes, even Americans weighing into it, that we need to have.
Well, I can't find the exact one, but Sydney was prolifically tweeting the last couple of days, and rightfully so. Sydney and I, we get along quite well. I really like Sydney, and hopefully we'll catch up with her. We're in
the US.
The US. But she tweeted this. I tweeted the other day that Australians think they are better than Americans. This is what I mean.
This is a great one. I read this.
Aussies have no right to self-defense, no explicit freedom of speech. The governments there control every facet of life. I can list all the ways they're getting fucked 6 ways to Sunday. But they feel morally superior to Americans. They genuinely believe the government infringing the rights of law-abiding citizens is a win because it appears to be action. And it makes them feel good, despite the fact that every time this happens, they're inviting more and more government overreach. But hey, as long as they don't look like those silly Americans, right? And she's responding to this tweet here, which says some random guys, ABC has written, breaking, the Prime Minister has proposed strengthening Australia's gun laws. And then this random person's written, full support for this. Let's make sure we actually do something. None of the thoughts and prayers crap here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you summarised. But I will say this, and I think I mentioned this briefly on Monday. I've been to America over 20 times. I've spent a lot of time in the States.
Yeah.
As a kid and as an adult. Every time I went there as an adult, I went to a gun range.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
It's a rite of passage.
And it's so much so that every time I planned to go back, I made sure I was either going, I was in Tennessee. I've actually never been to Texas. That's why I'm really excited for next year.
Yeah.
But I've been to Wyoming. I've been to the Dakotas, places like that. And I've shot guns and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've shot them in Vietnam. I've shot AKs. I've shot Uzis. I've shot revolvers. I've shot big rifles. I've shot an M60.
Yeah.
You name it. The bigger, the weirder the gun, I have paid the money to buy the ammo to fire it.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm quite good.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty good at it.
Very good.
Do you know why I think I'm good? Because the guy said to me, he's like, women make better shooters because your ego doesn't get in the way. And not that I fear the weapon.
This is a thing, by the way. There's been research into this. This is a thing.
So the hardest gun I've ever shot, now I said Uzis and stuff like that. I've shot all of those. I've shot Glocks. But the hardest thing was a Smith & Wesson. It was a silver long barrel revolver.
Yeah.
And if I had
it'd be like a 45 ACP, or it'd be a decent round.
And it was really heavy.
Yeah.
And, to be fair, that the Americans, they don't fuck around with their guns either. This guy was like, all right, this is a serious one. Let's do this. And he's like, there is massive recoil on this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to stand behind you and just have my hands here. So when your shoulder kicks back, I'll be here. So just letting you know. And I have deep respect for the weapons.
Yeah.
So it's your job to load the 6 bullets in. So I open it up and I put them in there. And I'm not shaking, but I'm hyper aware that I'm holding a gun that could fire. Right, so if fingers away from the trigger, all the right things, and then as I'm holding it up and pointing it at the target, I can feel myself being a little bit nervous. So my immediate reaction is to and I shoot once I breathe out, bang. So there's no like, I'm not shooting on the inhale or the exhale. I wait till the exhale's done, shoot. And I shot this gun first go, massive recoil, but I hit it right in the middle, right on the X. And he was like, well done, amazing shot. I don't think that's because I'm necessarily a great shot. I think it's more the respect for the weapon. If you're calm, that can inflict serious damage as opposed to doing the whole movie thing where it's, sideways and do this.
It's all nonsense.
But the way that weapon worked, both hands on the gun, shooting it, and the guy standing behind me so I didn't, go back.
Make sure your elbows are not locked out.
Yeah, not locked out. I did everything he told me. I sort of leaned in a little bit, waited till I exhaled, fired. Like, I've got a video. I'll show it another day. My entire hands come back like this.
Yeah.
Like,
that's actually part of the reason why those revolvers are so heavy, because the heavier the weapon is, the more it damps.
Yeah.
It doesn't, obviously the recoil still exists, but can you imagine the sharpness of that same twisting action if it was a very lightweight weapon? It'd just snap your wrist.
And so I think that's why I have deep respect for guns. And I think I said on the podcast on Monday, prior to COVID and a few things, I had never even considered, knowing full well how much I enjoyed shooting them in America, I had never even considered that's something that we should have, or I was never upset about our gun laws. I'd never thought about it.
Yeah.
It's only since COVID and, things happening since. Now I've obviously changed my stance. I believe I would like a gun. I believe I deserve to have a gun. But I think the average Australian, they've never had a reason to fear the government, and they've never had a reason to need a gun. That's why
they've
they
never
have
been
stance.
smart enough to realise that they have a reason to fear the government. I would say it's slightly different.
Is it intellect or is it gross naivety?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. And our history has been very kind to us. But on the gun experience and exposure thing, when I was studying acting, I did a year of full-time screen acting school, and we went to a gun range as part of that to shoot handguns, because so many movie roles and TV roles involve guns. So, you need to have some idea.
You can't do this. This is not a thing.
Yes, yeah. Unless you're playing a character that would do that.
Unless you're a gangster and you'd be like,
but I had already left by then the Army Reserve, so I'd spent plenty of time shooting stars, shooting minimise, doing, I've put literally thousands of rounds through, particularly those two weapons, a handful of others, but particularly those two weapons. And I'd already been, I literally, just before I came back to study for that year, I'd just been in Texas working on a TV pilot over there where I got to shoot a 7.62mm AR-10, which is basically the larger caliber version of an AR-15. And so I'm comfortable enough with guns, but I had very little exposure to handguns. I'd done very little with them. So I was really looking forward to this. We get down there. It's an indoor shooting range underground in the inner city Melbourne area. And there's a dozen of us, maybe 14 of us in the class. And one of them, full-grown woman, mid-30s, starts to have an emotional meltdown. We haven't touched the guns. We haven't fired the guns. We have walked into the administrative area that isn't even the shooting range, and the guns are sitting with tags in the chambers and all the rest of it on a bench. And she has this, she's beginning to hyperventilate. She's beginning to have this massive emotional reaction to these completely inanimate objects. Now, most of the rest of us were completely fine, and we all went and had our fun and did some shooting. And by the way, there's lots of different ways to enjoy guns. Mm-hmm. Some people, and I saw it, the reason I bring it is because I saw it in that day. Some people, it's all about precision. I'm going to be as accurate as I can. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do the breathing.
Me. Yeah.
I want the tightest group possible. That's me as well.
I was more so just scared. Not scared, but just very conscious of the weapon. Yeah.
Others are like, bang, 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 bang. That was cool.
Yeah.
Just shoot off every bullet. Don't care about anything. Just have the fun.
It's expensive to do that.
Yes, it is expensive. I really enjoy long range, and it doesn't have to be extreme distances. It just has to be long range for that caliber. Shooting a 22 long rifle over 200 meters and trying to ring a plate of steel, and just that is hard. That is a difficult caliber to do that reliably with because it's so affected by the wind. It's relatively slow. There's a lot of drop. And there are people who shoot out over 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and well beyond for the people that really get good. But the math involved in long range shooting is crazy.
Looking at the way snipers work, it's
the
fascinating.
Math. The math is insane. They have to allow for the rotation of the earth and all kinds of crazy stuff that goes on. Anyway, there are a million different ways to enjoy shooting, and I watch different people. And then here's this lady just having a complete meltdown. She ended up not shooting. She got as far as touching one of the guns, and then she just burst into tears, became a blubbering mess, and had to be escorted out of the facility.
That's not normal.
That is psychotic.
That's a fear that she's worked at. That's a psychosis thing. She's worked that up in her head.
I couldn't ask her about, is there trauma here? Is there whatever? That's not a conversation you can have. But there was nothing that indicated to me that this was related to any particular experiences, any crimes, any domestic abuse, nothing. This appeared to be purely the fear that she had conjured up within herself over these utterly inanimate objects.
The mind is a weapon.
Yeah.
Your own mind can be a serious weapon.
Is that... Oh, I'm getting that through my headset.
Are you? Sorry, 2 seconds. This might be your courier. Give me a second.
We're all going to hear this call.
Hello? Yes, I'm home.
Oh, I think we have some merch.
Are you here now?
I think we have some merch.
Are you here now? Oh, give me 2 seconds. I'll come right down.
All right.
Thank you so much. Bye. Sorry, guys. Just got some business to do.
15 boxes of merch have just arrived at the front door of the studio, everybody. I guess you're stuck with me for a couple of minutes while Carly does the heavy... I love the fact that I'm the one that gets to sit here and wax lyrical, and that she's the one who has to go and actually do the heavy lifting and do the work. On the guns issue, because I know that's one that a lot of you are passionate about. Like I said, I'm not a gun owner. This isn't a thing that I have a dog in this fight. But I want to address one thing very specifically, because a lot of people have accused me of wanting, American-style gun violence over here because I want people to be able to arm themselves for their own self-defense. The tragic reality is that people who want to hurt us are going to find a way to hurt us. And I mentioned before the Madrid bombing, the Nice truck ramming. There are so many ways to hurt people. If you want to hurt people, there are so many ways to do it. I mentioned on the live on Monday night a few of the specific ones. I used to think about this a lot more than I should, not from the context of how I could hurt others, but trying to be aware of risks and how others might strategize. And gosh, you don't have to spend very long thinking about it before you realize if there were really all these people out there that wanted to hurt us, so much so that we need all the airport security and everything else, where are they? Because they're not bombing buses or trains, and they're not, the example I gave is one of the more difficult ones, and I did that deliberately. There's much simpler ways to do this. But hijacking a petrol tanker and getting it across into the rail line and then having a head-on with a train underground in the tunnel, right? That's going to fuck some shit up. There are so many different ways. Where are they? Why is this not happening? It's not because of our gun laws. It's not because of our TSA airport security equivalent. It's because actually the number of people who want to do this sort of thing is vanishingly small. So the question isn't how do we stop everyone from having guns so that we can stop this vanishingly small number of people from actually doing anything. It's how do we equip all the people that don't want to do this so that they can act when the vanishingly small number of people that do want to do this try it. That's the problem. Now, in the case of the Bondi shooting, is it all the stuff?
Yes.
It's the stuff. You haven't brought up any samples, any examples? Can you rip open a box or two and get a history? Gosh, do I have to do everything around here, Carly? Gosh. Carly's going to bring us some samples, everybody. There was this couple that saw them getting the guns out of the car, and they tried to intervene with their bare hands. And my understanding is you would have seen the footage. There's a dash cam bit of footage of someone driving past. I believe they tried to tackle the dad, and the son shot them, and they died. They gave their lives trying to fight back against this vanishingly small number of people. They're very real. They do exist. I'm not dismissing the threat. It is a real threat. It's a vicious thing. They do exist, but they had to fight back with their bare hands because they were disarmed by law. In America, you're not disarmed by law. You make the individual choice. Do I want to carry or do I not? Do I want to carry today or do I not? Which one am I going to carry today based on what I'm doing today? I know people that carry a handgun with them every single day of their lives. It's just a normal part of their uniform. It's not onerous. It's not troublesome. I've sat in all kinds of different facilities, events, conferences, all the rest of it in the US, knowing that there are literally dozens of guns in the room with me, and I've never felt safer, right? A lot of the fear is actually in people's imagination. They imagine what people would do, but the practical reality doesn't work out that way. What I imagine, what I look at these situations is, what if that couple that tried to intervene right from the get-go had not been disarmed by law? Might they have been people who would have chosen to carry? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I applaud their incredible courage, and it's a tragic loss that people like that end up losing their lives. But then I think about all the different people that were filming from all the different directions. Everyone, not everyone, so many people knew who the threats were. They knew where they were. They knew what they were doing. And all they could do is sit there and film, and some of them shouting insults and stuff like that. What if a single one of those people filming on a phone camera had actually had an AR-15? Let's pick the boogeyman, the scary one, the one that we're all supposed to be afraid of, the AR-15. What if one of them had that? There's no reason why they would have shot the wrong person. They knew exactly who the right person was. They understood the exact situation that they were in. And so, yes, it is a ridiculous minority position in Australia. But I hold my position that we in Australia should be allowed to arm ourselves, yes, with guns for our own self-defense. Carly, how are you going? Good. Hang on. How far away are you? 2 seconds. Because I can go on to make another point, or I can pause and wait for you. Oh, quick costume change.
Because it's like 50 degrees.
All right, Carly's back in the building, everybody.
So.
All right, show me some merch. This is change of time. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Sorry, everybody. I do apologise. I made a promise earlier. We're going to talk about merch, which is, I believe, a tangent.
Oh.
Which means that this is tangent time, tangent time, tangent time, tangent time. There, I did it. I did the extra one. Tangent time. It cuts to you every single damn time. Why don't I get the glory? Why do we get to look at you doing the spirit
Why is it
fingers,
on me? I didn't do
twinkle
anything.
fingers? This is why I'm griping.
Are you talking into your microphone? It's still on me. Did you? I need to send this to my.
Okay.
You can't say this is not an entertaining podcast.
I'm gonna
take
start
business
unboxing.
calls.
I'm gonna start unboxing.
I've had
some
a
of this
costume change. I want to show you. Hang on, before you do that, I want to show you.
But the people.
No.
They want.
This
give
is what
the people what they want. The people want to see.
This is literally what just happened.
Right,
this is just what
arrived.
Oh, hang on. This is literally just what happened.
Holy
Do you need me to sign?
There's a bloody pellet in my driveway. So yeah.
That's why I spent nearly $30,000.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Of
wow.
stuff.
All right, guys, we are shipping today and tomorrow because tomorrow evening is the cutoff. Our lives are already going to be hell. So how about you make the hell worse by jumping on totalfield.com and ordering some more. Order some more stuff. Make us work until all hours tomorah. All right, there is already green. There is green threads on this brand new garment that I have just unboxed.
That's yours.
The Grinch is everywhere. All right,
don't get too excited.
I need the camera on me.
Okay.
I need the camera on me.
Don't knock the water.
I'm going to have to unfold this one. So this is one of the hoodies. It says Topher Field on the front. Beautiful blue tassel with metal tips on the tassel. Whatever, I'm not even using the right words. And can they see it? I can't see the camera.
It looks gorgeous.
That is
gorgeous.
Inside of the hood, fully lined. It's exactly the same material as the outside. I promise you. This is going to be the softest, cuddliest, comfortablest hoodie that you have ever had in your life. This is an instant classic, instant favourite. And good on Carly. Carly's graphic design now. So all the swing tags, everything is just so
And hang on,
pretty.
neck tag.
Neck tag says Topher Field in there. Just so good.
It's
Carly,
almost like I've had a clothing company before.
You have excelled yourself. This is gorgeous. I am stealing one of these instantly and taking one home to my wife.
Well, that's yours.
Well, this one, what size is this? This is probably the right size for my wife. Yeah, I'll give her the
Grinchy
fibre covered one. Is this a different design?
No, it's the same one.
Same design?
That was the first box on top of the pallet.
We got the Think Free caps, which are also Topher Field caps. So it's kind of a two-in-one. The TF has Think Free on the side.
This is for your Christmas day where you can't be too political.
Yeah, this is for when you want to kind of blend in a little bit. It's just Think Free, TF there, which is both Topher Field and Think Free. And then this one, if you really want to start pissing some people off.
Well, Australians won't get it. Australians won't get that.
This is for my American audience, but I think it's still my favourite slogan.
Well, no, hang on. Not all Australians. Many aware Australians will get it. But
and people complain, you should have done one. Why are you doing it for America? I did one originally. The original design was actually based on the date of the Eureka Stockade. Which
no one would know that.
I can't even remember it now. And I designed the jolly shirt, the original one. No one understood. No one ordered it. Not a single one. So I got rid of it.
Yeah. Very few Aussies remember the Eureka story. Not like some of you guys do, but they don't even teach it in schools anymore.
No. I am so stoked. I have been stressing. This has been giving me stomach ulcers. Is this stuff going to arrive in time? Well, it has arrived.
Hang on. Who have you been bullying for a week?
I have been extremely polite in the 14,000 messages I've sent you every single day at all hours of the day and night.
You want to know who was actually panicking?
I have never once threatened to kill you. in all of the 24 million messages.
You haven't said it explicitly,
Not
but it was
explicitly.
implied.
Look, it's defensible in court. Your Honour, that's an interpretation.
It was implied.
It was defensible in court.
It's just gotten hot up here, or is it because I've been running?
Oh, it's just because you left me alone in here, and I was just smouldering. Smouldering at the
Guys, I'm so sorry to leave you alone with him. I apologise.
Well, we got a little bit done. We talked a little bit about self-defence in Australia and gun laws, etc. But
I've just refreshed my X feed, and popping up here is
not now.
No,
we're so close to being out for the year. We're so
is
close.
Susan Ley.
I nearly got out of here.
No, Susan Ley. Hang on, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what she's got to say.
What is she saying?
People who marched across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and there were plenty of marches in Melbourne, that actively held up posters of the Ayatollah Khomeini, of people from registered terrorist organisations across the world, with language that in itself is hate speech, should be arrested. And if they are non-citizens, they should be deported.
Far out. Where did she find those kahunas?
I mean, I think...
Has she been watching the Oddcast? Did she listen to Spicy Carl's?
I think she's just gone back and had to listen to what Pauline Hanson's been saying for the last 25 years.
All right, it's too little too late for the Liberal Party.
Well,
you waited until 15 people were slaughtered.
Yeah. Look, glad to hear it. And we talk about this all the time. You have to let people change. You have to, if you won't allow people to change and to recognise that they've been wrong previously, then you can't grow your movement. At the same time, I don't think she'll ever admit that she was wrong. She'll just say, oh no, this is our position.
Yeah, this is what we've always been at.
Yeah.
I just wish I could embolden more Australians to just see through the...
We need to finish before the set falls apart completely.
That's really upsetting. I mean, it held on for 2 hours. It's like the last brain cell in my brain that's just hanging on. There we go.
Is that what you think it's doing? Okay.
I lost it. I wish I could empower more Australians to realise that none of this is actually, it's all just circus. You need to look below this.
Show business for ugly people. That's what politics is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the fact that the last thing I want to play was the contrast between Pauline and Anthony Albanese. Did you see this?
I haven't seen a contrast video, but I've seen separate videos.
Okay, so where did it go?
Pauline got a round of applause when she arrived at Bondi.
Yeah, so essentially what happened was Anthony Albanese went to the Bondi Pavilion, he was like, oh, I'm one of the first there. No, he went there at 7 a.m. when there was no one around. There was no news cameras. He had his own staff film that. He didn't have to face the crowd. He didn't have to talk to the Jewish community. Pauline went later with Barnaby. She was met by a huge crowd of people applauding her and happy to see her. And when it was Paul Dowsley said to her, how do you feel about Anthony Albanese coming here and not speaking to anyone? And she's genuinely shocked. She looks at him and says, he didn't speak to anyone. And Paul's like, no, he didn't speak to anyone. And she's like, that is disgusting. She's truly aghast. And I hate that I'm saying this, but credit to Paul. I think he gets it. I think he's starting to...
Yeah. Look, I've been in your bad books for defending Paul, and I'm not defending what he did with you. But I do think he's someone who, within the confines of the strictures of where he finds himself, does try to do the best that he can. And I think he did that with the protests. He was the one covering the protests, and a lot of the protesters hated him because he wasn't openly on our side. But actually, if you look past that, if you go back to the reports now with the benefit of a bit of hindsight and a bit of the heat taken out of it, I do think he actually did try to do his best. I think he does that. No, I'm not commenting on what he did with you, but when it comes to the protests and the anti-lockdown stuff, I've got time for Paul. I know you don't, but
he can apologise, Jimmy.
Yeah.
When he's ready. I want to play this because I've played this on the podcast before, but for those who may not have seen this is a UAE foreign minister.
And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance. And,
2017.
and let me say this in English.
He went on to say that it is a threat. We take it seriously, and you guys are falling for it, kind of thing.
And we are. We what is it? The compassion, the suicidal empathy.
Suicidal empathy.
Yeah. I think we need to wrap up. We've got orders to ship. We can't, honestly.
And it's hot up here, even though the aircon's on.
You saw the size of that pallet. We have to get all of these orders shipped. They have to be at the post office in only about 26, 27 hours time.
I don't want to brag, but I have already packed almost 2/3 of them.
Well,
so
bully for you. No, I do actually appreciate you've been working really hard. But
he's like, we need to do this. I'm like, I've been doing this
none
last
of the
week.
everyone that ordered the shirts and the hoodies in any of the new designs, none of those have been packed yet, and we've got a lot of work to do. So I think we need to just call it.
Can we end on a happy note?
The merch arrived. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, but
what
it's
could be happier?
Christmas.
Okay.
I'm wearing antler ears.
All right, give me your best shot. Make me happy. Go on.
I don't have anything.
It's like saying to a comedian, "Make me laugh."
You put me on the spot.
You're right. So can we reflect on the year for a moment? I think that might be
it's our
because a lot
last
of people are going
episode.
to do
Not
that.
our last episode. It's
It's
the
the
last
last
one for this
episode of the
year.
year.
When are we back?
Next year.
Is it 2 weeks? 3 weeks? When have we
I
decided?
would have thought first week of January because that's when we started this year. We started in the first week of January.
Okay.
So I reckon first week of January, but then you'll be away. We'll do a couple of remote episodes while you're away, and then blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
There's lots of travel next year.
A lot of travel next year. This year's been amazing. We started this podcast in the first week of January. Didn't know how long it was going to last. All we knew, for those that are new, you won't have heard this before. For those that have been watching for a while, I apologize, but bear with me. Our entire premise was we think we have amazing conversations together. We have a lot of fun. We enjoy it. We think it's thought-provoking, and we think that it's underrepresented in the wider community, the wider zeitgeist of what's being talked about. And so why not point a camera at the conversations that we're already having and share those with you guys? That was the premise. That's the entire premise of the show. And we made the agreement. We said, how long is this going to go for? Don't know. But we made the agreement. If we stop having fun, we stop doing the podcast. It's that simple, right? If we are no longer enjoying what we're doing, we stop doing it.
What you guys don't see is the gun under the table facing me.
Facing you?
You will have fun.
Have fun or else. And that's the entire premise. And here we are a year later. We've got 4,100 plus followers on YouTube. We've got a bunch of amazing oddies, the OG oddies, that have come on board. This incredible community on Discord that is forming. We've got merch. We're going to have a first birthday, although it might be a little bit delayed. Bear with us on that one.
I've got some leads on some places.
Excellent. Now that we've adjusted the budget slightly. So what an incredible first year. But I'd love to hear from you, Carly, because I'm going to share my own. That's just the joint. That's just the podcast. But you have your life and I have my life outside of this podcast. And this has been genuinely one of the best years of my life. Genuinely.
Because I'm in it? Or just...
You were already in it last year, which was genuinely one of the worst. I've literally gone back to back. Worst year of my life.
Yeah.
Which was not during COVID. COVID was bad. COVID knocked me around. Last year, worst year of my life by some margin. For reasons that I can't even talk about yet. But eventually I'll get there. This year, genuinely best year of my life. And I've gone back to back, worst to best in a single step. And I think one of the things, now I'm going to talk about my year. I'll finish on this before, I'll come back to my year later.
No, keep going, keep going. You're on a roll.
One of the things, we all know how quickly life can turn bad. A single phone call, there's been a car crash, there's been, whatever, a redundancy, a health diagnosis, just a simple accident. We all know that life can turn bad really, really fast. I didn't know until this year that life can turn good really, really fast. That wasn't, and when I say really, really fast, it took a year, and it's been a year of hard work. It's been a year of long hours, focus, pushing through, getting things done, when you want to have stopped hours and hours ago. It's been a really tough year, but it's also been the best year of my life. And coming off the worst year of my life last year to be in the best year of my life this year, I had no idea that life could come good this fast. And I find it so encouraging. And it's one of the reasons why I thought when you were asking for good news, let's finish on a happy note. Whatever situation you're in, I know it can be hard to believe. I would never have believed last year that I would be where I am now at the end of this year. Life can come good real fast, real fast. And part of what we're going to be doing next year with the return of my masterclass is to talk about the mindset things that have actually now helped me. So I originally did the masterclass when I was in the middle of my worst ever year. I was in the thick of it, and I will talk about that in years to come, but that's probably years away before I can even talk about what happened last year. But I did that masterclass when I was in the thick of my worst year ever. And because I put into practice the very principles that I was talking about in that masterclass, I've managed to turn that around into genuinely my best ever year. And I just want to encourage people. It's whatever situation you're in, it's not forever. Things can turn around real quick.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I remember some of those conversations last year, and they were really tough, really ugly. I think my worst year was 2021, but I don't feel like I've ever, what's the word? I don't want to say bounce back. It's not about bouncing back. I feel like I have played the same day over and over again. There's been moments of like amazing, obviously meeting G and lots of stuff. But I would describe the last 5 years as one of those like little wind-up cars where you just keep winding it and winding it and
Till
winding
it makes
it.
the angry clicks.
Yeah. And I've been angry clicking for what feels like years. And I feel like I've been wading through quicksand. And I think for me, this podcast has kind of like finally opened up what the path is for me. You know, I've had to really make peace. And this is something I've been mourning this year. You know, I joke about my masters and stuff like that. But for the last 5 years, it's been as outspoken. I wasn't outspoken prior to COVID. I wasn't. And I did have a good career, and I had friends and all that sort of stuff. And this has really polarized me with a lot of people. It's certainly carved out a very narrow window of path of where I can go. And I've had to make peace with the fact that I have to say goodbye to the career that I always wanted.
Yeah.
And that career was to be a super successful fashion photographer.
Yeah.
I have wanted that since I was a child. And I've gone on a very long, meandering path to get there. Because when I was a kid, my parents said, you can't be an artist, artists don't make money. And so I've gone down the path of doing architecture and not getting into that. And then, you know, becoming a graphic designer and then blah, 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 blah. Not to make a sob story, but that's just the trajectory of life. And then as I was finally getting there and I felt like I was getting close, so many things have blindsided me. And I look back and go, I hated that they happened.
Yeah.
Like COVID was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And as in what happened to me in COVID. And on the other side, I've come out going, what do I do? I've been trying to piece it back together and trying to keep pushing down this path. And there's been resistance for a reason. The Oddcast is the first time I've gone, I can see where I can go with this.
Yeah.
You know, the career that I've always wanted doesn't exist anymore because of who I am and the way I speak. But there's now an opportunity to speak in a way that is helpful to not only myself and others.
Yeah.
And I can still use my creativity in ways, you know, I will never be a fashion photographer that shoots the cover of Vogue so long as I'm politically outspoken. But can I make beautiful products that you guys can enjoy?
Yeah.
Can I create fun artworks that, you know, build up the Oddcast?
Yep.
I get to still use that skill and that talent. But I think what I'm buoyed by and why I'm grateful to the Oddcast is that there are so many people that I think feel this way but haven't had an opportunity to come together. And I will say this, and this is not to disparage anyone else that's, you know, people might see as our competitors, but should Topher and I make the clickbait videos, this channel would have grown so much quicker.
Yep.
Should we have jumped on things, and there's a bunch of people, I'm not going to name names because I'm not trying to be nasty and be like, oh, they only got there because of this, because that's not what I mean. But there's definitely a way you can play YouTube. And there's definitely a way that you can play social media.
Sure.
And if we lent into that, we could.
We could have grown so much faster.
But we didn't want to do that. And like, you know, people are like, 3-hour podcast, that's ridiculous. And it's like, no, because these are conversations that need to be had.
Yeah.
And you can't do them in a 3-minute video. You can't do them in cute little clicky, you know, bits. They need to be messy.
And you lose the vibe. People join us in the podcast because they actually enjoy being a part of the conversation, not because we make the best points. That's not what we are.
Yeah.
There are other people that do a really good job of that. That's not what we do. We invite people into a friendship and into a community now that's much bigger than just the two of us. But to be able to actually sit around with friends and talk about the stuff that you can't talk about in other contexts.
And to just come back to my favourite comment of the year, the sagacious chasm. I will never forget that.
It's a great rip. I tell you, that is a great
the sagacious
rip.
chasm.
For those that don't know, someone left a comment on one of my I put up a clip of the Oddcast, and someone on my channel put a comment there saying basically I needed to get rid of Carly because of the sagacious chasm meaning the gap in wisdom between the two of us. And
I'm just dumbass.
We've been chuckling about it ever
Yeah,
since.
and it's fine because what he saw was like a 10-minute clip of me not knowing something,
Yeah.
and Topher basically knowing the thing. And it's like, yeah, okay, if that's your attitude to everyone in this country, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
The point of this podcast is that I don't know everything. I've never pretended to know everything. I've never pretended to be some
and
political
let's be clear,
scholar.
Neither do I. I'm not sitting here as the giver of wisdom. But I've been doing this for 16 years.
Yeah.
And I am more of a political policy wonk. And I do know stuff.
Wanker is what I would have said, but sure, wonk.
Policy wonker. You know, you're much more in the cultural space.
Yeah.
And your finger is on the pulse a lot more over there. We each bring different things. And that's the beauty of it. And so I chuckle about the sagacious gap. You know, I've had numerous comments now of people saying, oh, when you started the podcast with Carly, I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I get it now. And I'm like, yeah, you can now, because the product is there and you can see it in what's more of a finished form, you can see what I knew was there in you before any of this. And I think the work that you're doing now on Instagram, your solo work now, completely vindicates my view that you have a place in this conversation. You have a voice that people want to hear.
I think, you know, I've had people say, oh, you know, you guys should be a bit more polished. You should be this. And then as soon as I started doing the intros, people are like, oh, don't do that. We love this.
Yeah, we love the soft opening.
There's lots of...
You can't win.
You can't win. But I think at the end of the day, like a 3-hour podcast that you guys come and join us for every Wednesday and every Monday, like I'm very grateful for it. It is very foreign to me. It's never not going to feel weird, the fact that people want to listen to me speak.
Sit there,
And I hope that...
Why would anyone want to listen to you? It just blows my mind.
And yet here you are every week. Gosh. But I think, you know, power to this format. Could we be more polished? Could we have scripts? Sure. You know, I went and just did a major podcast, like a very successful podcast. And like as much as the women were lovely and I appreciated the opportunity, I was a bit disheartened by the fact the conversation felt so cut. And I know why they do that, because they break it down to clips for socials. And it needs to be done that way for the structure. And I totally get that. That's the way it's done in a professional capacity. That's how it's done for the mainstream. And I don't want that. I don't want it to be a point where, okay, well, you'll say this and then I'll say that and I'll come in here and we'll clip that. I love the messiness. I love the me tripping over words. I love that we sort of butt heads and then I'm live Googling. I think that's actually what makes it good.
Where we're going, we don't need plans. Like that is the podcast in a quote.
And I think, you know, it's kind of like, not to compare ourselves to the best podcast in the world, Joe Rogan, but it is kind of...
But we're going to compare ourselves to Joe Rogan.
But that's why I think his podcast is so successful. I mean, the left keep trying to recreate it. I'm like, you can't. No. You can't fake it. No. It is messy conversations. Sometimes I slip up. Sometimes I misspeak. Sometimes you say things that are just so stupid and I want to punch you in the face. I'm joking.
Like 2 Girls, 1 Cup didn't exist.
Turns
out it did.
It turns out we'll haze you live on air.
How was the reaction? Because I was still in the car driving home. How was the reaction from people?
Oh, everyone was like, I can't believe this is happening, but yes, we're here. You're here for the journey. I made Topher watch porn online.
I will never again be able to eat a Snickers, a picnic.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I did dip it in like chocolate flavored yogurt, which wasn't a great combination.
Yeah.
I will admit.
Whilst you're watching them excreted.
Whilst watching 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah.
That
you only watched. To be fair, I only showed you a snippet. I wish I had the full video.
Well, look, I mean,
I wasn't prepared to go deep.
We'll just have to put that into like the members only area. You know.
But no, on that note, hopefully you guys appreciate the show. Hopefully it's enjoyable. You know, the topics are heavy, but I don't. What I think I get frustrated in. I'm going to say this, and you guys can clip it and share it.
We're going to finish the year on one last shellacking from Carl.
No. My ex-business partner, who is politically and ideologically my polar opposite. I won't tell the story because I don't want to get sued by him again, but he has vexatiously litigated me twice.
Right.
And he cannot get my name out of his mouth. This man is obsessed with me in many ways. And here I am talking about him, so he's probably going to love it. He loves to be the person that is the expert. Right. I know I have the answer. I am the man of infinite wisdom. And every time I see, he did this the other day and it got shared on X, and Piers Morgan ended up sharing one of his tweets. And he comes across with this position of authority and moral virtue that he is at the top of the...
superior.
He is superior in every way, and it is dripping with disdain for anyone who doesn't espouse the same views as him. I never want to be that. I hope I'm forever the person that's like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not heard of that. Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
I take great pride in the fact that I have real humility to be like, didn't know that.
Yeah. That is one of the most common phrases out of both of our mouths.
Yeah.
I'll bring up something, you'll be like, no, don't know what you're talking about. Bring me up to speed.
Yeah.
And the reverse is often true.
Yeah. And I hope you guys hold me to this in 5 years' time when we're Bisquillionaires and we're flying in our Oddcast private jet. I hope you guys remind me that, Carls, you haven't changed. I don't want to change.
You're going to love doing like the paint design
I
for
know.
our private jet. Like that's going to be your favorite.
I saw what Adrian Portelli
graphic design job ever.
I saw what Adrian Portelli did to his. I'm like,
I actually haven't seen that.
it's very minimal and very tasteful. But to be fair, I can't imagine wrapping a jet's cheap. But I don't know.
We'd have to do something bold, something retro, like Back to the Future, DeLorean across the side of a private jet.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's going to have to be an enormous private jet, obviously.
Do you remember
if
what
it's going to fit both of our egos at the same time?
Do you remember what I can't remember what they called it, but the two Aboriginal jets that were painted in the 90s?
Yeah, the Qantas did. Yeah.
I can't remember what they called them.
Yeah, no, I don't remember either. They had the dot art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was bright and it was fun. I was like, fuck yeah. Why don't all our planes look like that?
Yeah.
Like,
they're just these white sausages in the sky.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you can
boring
do better than
white
that.
sausages with like a little tail art. Let me at it. It'll be like hypercolor and neon and.
All right. Well, if we're going to get our own private jet, we better ship these orders and keep people happy. But guys, literally, you've got pretty much tonight to get orders in if you want to receive them by Christmas, because Thursday 5 p.m. that's the cutoff that Australia Post have. So head to topherfield.com. Order your stuff. You will have it by Christmas if you order it literally tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get it out to you.
And
after that, we make no promises.
And if you appreciate what we do, you can donate and join up
Yep.
with coffee. You can buy us a coffee.
Yep.
Because next year, I'll tell you guys, I'll give you this little scoop for next year, what I would like to do. We're not there yet. As much as I appreciate the donations and stuff up until this point, we are using currently my own photography equipment, but we have old HD cameras.
Yeah.
They're not old, but they're not new.
They do the job. But the whole setup is kind of like, what's the budget version?
Yeah, this is like an IKEA table. I mean, our road stuff's cool. The
road stuff's
awesome.
good. The Roadcaster is the one like actually fit for purpose piece of equipment.
But the cameras and stuff, I would like us to be able to do. I think Chris Williamson, I love watching how finessey he is about his podcast, his Modern Wisdom.
Right.
And he cares so much about the presentation. He cares so much. And I'm like, I wish I had the budget. What I would love to do through all the Ko-fi sign-ups and subscriptions is upgrade our cameras. That would be the first thing I'd like to do. But we're looking at $12,000.
Yeah, to get the right things, and there's.
I would love to put that in
horses for
myself, by the way. I
courses.
just don't have the 12.
Look, let's not go too deep into that. Next year's going to be a big year. We're both doing some recreational travel to Japan, ironically, a couple of weeks apart, early in the year, or late this year for me.
Speaking of which, someone asked me, where's Battleground Melbourne in Japan? What's
so it's going to be in the Shibuya district. Keep an eye on my socials. So it has been confirmed. It's definitely going ahead. I don't have, and it'll be on the evening of the 28th. So set aside the evening of the 28th, yes.
If you are in Tokyo.
If you're in Tokyo, it'll be in the Shibuya district on the evening of the 28th of December. So it's not far away. The venue I still haven't heard back on, but the event itself has been confirmed. So keep an eye on all my socials. Make sure that you're on my email list. Go to topherfield.com, sign up for the email list. I will be letting everyone know through an email at some point in time once I have the location confirmed.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of travel next year. I have it on good authority. I might be going somewhere in the Middle East.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's exotic.
Exotic.
You're coming with me to America, along with a couple of others. We're going to be doing Battleground Melbourne live at Freedom Fest. All going well. Not 100% confirmed, but I'm
Either way, we'll be in
I'm
America.
pretty confident. Well, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll certainly be there because I am confirmed to speak at some other events. So I'll certainly be over there. I'd love for you to be there. Let's do July 4th, Independence Day.
Shoot some guns.
It'll be the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. You want to tell me that's not going to be the biggest party that takes place in our lifetimes?
So, no, I don't want to get your hopes up because this is not 100% confirmed, but it is most likely going to happen. But a friend of mine in America his best mate has a giant ranch and they have all the toys. Ooh. They have like bazookas and all sorts of things. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to fire that. If
you insist.
Yeah, I was like...
If you insist, I will join you.
And do you know what Americans love more than anything? is getting
Showing
Australians to fire their guns.
Yeah, showing off and having all of us go, whoa!
Yeah, they're like, we're going to enter, because the other Americans are like, meh, but the Aussies are like, whoa!
Yeah, crazy.
So,
yes. All right,
anyway.
next year's going to be an even bigger year. Thanks for joining us this year, everybody. We could not do this. Well, I mean, we could do this with no one watching, but there'd really be no point. So we are very grateful to you.
It'd be awkward.
Would be a little bit weird. We are very grateful to all of you. Thank you for being a part of the Oddcast Year 1.
Year one.
50
50 episodes in the book.
There's a high five needed in there.
50 episodes, 25 live episodes, so 75 all
75 episodes, yep.
Of 2 3-hour podcasts with you. Bloody hell.
Don't tally up the hours of life lost, let alone the hours lost watching. Can you believe? I mean, we're basically committing slow motion genocide. We are killing people one podcast hour at a time.
Or are we empowering them and starting a rebellion?
Which one's worth more money?
I don't know.
We'll go with that one.
Okay. All right, guys. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Spend it with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Disconnect from the internet. I do
Get
my
off the
annual
internet.
I do my annual hiatus now.
Yeah.
I'm offline from Friday for a month.
Yeah. Get off the internet.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be completely offline because you need to check orders.
Oh, no, I'm online for you, but as far as like me on Instagram,
you're
I'm off.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Ciao. You gonna do it? You gonna push it, or do I have to push it this time? Are you reaching for it? I can't. I'm looking at the camera. I can't take my eyes off the camera because it'll be weird. Can you please push the damn button? End this thing. Put me out of my misery. Come on.